Seo sin maha ag oriam anna den nation agus well seo again making van SWPL an och agus apper gorofir jou yede hacking ag das go seo Hearts a Gino a gnoch it Hibernian agus well Rangers ring as na cruise a keith gehun in Glasgow City. Sil chef an yerging an och a shop ja is BBC Alpe. Agus fyrst súl eicheach idir na gemich an ila hatdal a noch san SWPL. Man tráis eichedai an opering agus ewa gem kutramachasit an an R3 Celtic adol an Hibernian. Hearts man afisaching adol na Rangers Spartans topper na mahith Glasgow City adol an Partick Thistle agus well Firio gem kutramach eich bound the league Hamilton adol an Dundee United agus ewa mar a hishu gydach unfuig idir Rangers agus Celtic agus Hearts well asan quite come out court on the Shikera Vacha. Shia Pungen it Hoshok it Hibernian Asen se Heravacha. Hello, Hart and Falcher of Goop BBC Alpha. For a welsing a knock, Lish a green oring a shami tolchera and the nation hashing Ike Orium. I say, well, upper game ha rowing a knock down and Fashk eater in a skippy and show Hearts a kuth Falcher aid Rangers. Agus Hamid Magoy clan Falcher a kuth aid Emma Hunter a calling a knock. Emma, thank you for being with us tonight on BBC Alpha. And before I suppose we look ahead to tonight's match between Hearts and Rangers, we must reflect back to the weekend's action, starting with Rangers and a 4-1 victory against Glasgow City on Sunday in Cumbernauld. What did your first reaction to that match?
Yeah, I think it's a huge statement in terms of the title race. I think it's a really good result for Rangers. They'll be really happy with that result and it gives them a lot of confidence into this game because for me Hearts isn't going to be an easy game for them, but to know that they scored 4 goals against Glasgow City, they'll come here with a lot of confidence and Hearts will have to match that. But
with Rangers winning 4-1 though, it's a statement win, especially against one of your title rivals.
Yeah, 100%. I think, as I was speaking earlier, I think for me, maybe winning the cup takes that little bit of pressure off them in terms of that silverware. And Joe's got that silverware now and the team have maybe just relaxed slightly. So I think they played with a lot of confidence and to do that against one of your biggest rivals as well, and to score 4 goals, I think is a big statement and it just pushes them further away from Glasgow City obviously, but we've obviously got Celtic still really close by them, so they'll need to get the result today as well.
Yeah, great result for Rangers at the weekend, but of course it was the same for Hearts, getting the better of their Edinburgh rivals. Hibernian 2-0 on Friday night here at Oriam. Another big win that.
Yeah, and I know obviously Hearts are really happy with the result in terms of going down to 10 players and actually still scoring a goal with those 10 players is a big statement from them as well, so they'll bring a lot of confidence into this game as well in terms of that result for them. So for me it's probably Hearts thinking that in terms of the teams above them, Rangers are the only team they haven't taken points off so far, so this is an opportunity for them tonight. So again, it'll be hopefully a good fixture and a nice sunny night.
It is indeed. Thank you for it now, Emma. Well, I think all clean vote na manager in Adrasa agus huad anjach adish. Also machleening fakkel is Joe Potter akadosho klingishing for Eva Olid.
Eva, your side seems to be on a really good run of form, 1 defeat in the last 7 games. How much confidence is in the team just now?
Well, I think that, as I say, we are stronger than ever. I think that we are in a really good form and looking forward for this game.
Obviously a massive 3 points against Hibs, opening up the gap to 4th place. Coming into this one, you've not managed to beat Rangers this season, but how close are you to doing that? How confident are you in your side's capabilities tonight?
Well, the last 2 games, the goal difference was short. Now, as I say, we are training so well, we are really good shape. Everything can happen, they are so good, but we are really good too in this moment, no? And I think we'll be competitive and hope we can get something.
2 changes for your side tonight, 1 in goal and obviously Shadi coming in instead of Kathleen McGovern. How big a miss is she going to be with her suspension?
Yeah, it's a big miss. She's a goal scorer and she was scoring goals when she came back from the injury, but fortunately we have a big squad and still we can compete with the other players.
And what do you think of this challenge ahead tonight with Rangers visiting? They seem to be a really strong side this season.
Yeah, of course, it's a really strong side. They won 4-1 against Glasgow City, but hope that they don't have a really good day today and we can get the 3 points.
Joe, One defeat, I think, in the last 7 games for your side. One defeat all season, indeed. I mean, how pleased have you been with the side's recent form, especially after that defeat to Celtic and kicking on with that massive win over the weekend?
Yeah, I've been extremely proud of the squad this year. We know it's hugely important not to lose too many games, and each game is very important. Your next one's always the most important. So I think that was a big one ticked off for us mentality-wise in the top 3 race against City at the weekend, and we need to make sure we're on it again tonight to get 3 points again.
A couple of changes coming into your side on a busy week as well, a 3-game week. How important is it to rotate the squad and use the best of your players? Hugely.
I think that's one of the main things for us. You know, we've got a good squad. We need to make sure we're using it and utilising it well. As well as players performing extremely well. Sometimes it's about being able to keep players fresh in a 3-game week and in a tough 3-game week as well, because these 2 games aren't easy. So we've got to make sure that we're utilising our squad as best as we can and making sure we get the best out of the players on the pitch. And in terms of those changes, Kirsty Howat starts here tonight. I mean, how pleasing is it for you to welcome back some of these players for the end of season running? Yeah, it's been massively important for us. Kirsty's missed a good chunk of the season where she was really on form actually. The injury come at a really disappointing time for her and us. But you can see the importance that she's had since she's come back into the team, especially when you're bringing a goal scorer back into the squad. You can see she's straight back in amongst things like she's never been away. So that's a big boost for us coming into the last games of the season.
Siad gaibh maha na manager an iad háiseach iad a game seo nach agus game cútarmach a há seo cúteach le Hearts adul and the Rangers. Well, give sin beach geile vo Emma Hunter the drasa callumsa. Emma, one defeat this season for Rangers and it's mid-April now. How do you get at this Rangers side? What do Hearts need to do here?
Yeah, like you said, they're a very confident team. I think they believe in their style of play, so it's really difficult. I think everyone knows their style of play, but I still think teams find it really difficult to find the right balance to make sure that, they're able to put pressure on them, get at them, but not be too open at the back. I think for me, Hearts just need to make sure that they defend really well, and that's what the message will be from Eva, is it not to concede, and especially early, try and stay in the game for as long as possible. I'm sure they'll have worked on some counter-attack play as well and try and hit them in the break, but at times it's probably just needing to put that little bit more pressure on the back line of Rangers and trying to pin them back a little bit at times is probably the way to try and break them down.
And of course, getting the likes of Mia McCauley, Kirsty Howat back in the side as well, not bad players to bring into your starting 11.
Yeah, and that's a luxury Jo has. I think she talked about that, the rotation of squad players, and she's got a surplus of great squad players, and to have Kirsty back, a real threat in front of goal and a top goal scorer, that's a huge asset to come back into the team. And I think in the wide areas, I think at times Jo's got almost so many options in terms of if it's Lizzie Arnott playing or if it's Mia or if it's Brogan Hay. They all seem to do a really good job when they step on the pitch, so they've got key influencers that come off the bench as well to change the game, so that's huge for her as well.
Looking at Hearts, so of course the manner, we spoke briefly about their win against Hibernian, but the manner they did it, I mean, what does that do for a dressing room? It's never ideal to lose a player, and of course Kathleen McGovern isn't involved here tonight after getting that red card against Hibernian, but what does holding on with 10 men and then of course winning a match, what does that do? Yeah, I mean, Eva said it. I think the team, you can feel that there's that confidence again now, and obviously Hibernian are huge rivals and they've not been able to do that this season, and they've done it comfortably as well with 10 men, so that's a huge statement for them. So yeah, you're right, there is maybe a couple of key players missing, but they'll bring a lot of confidence into the game, and hopefully they can get at Rangers a little bit more tonight. But yeah, I think for me, Hearts just need to make sure they stay in the game as long as possible, and they've shown it before against the teams that are above them. They can take points off of them, so they need to remember that as well. But Rangers are a tough side, and they've only lost one game. Yeah, and of course Eva Olid, she's desperate to get a win against one of these top 3 sides as well. Come close, they nearly did it here against Celtic back in December, they nearly did it against Glasgow City in November. I mean, it would mean so much to her on the side. Yeah, I think here at Hearts, I know for a fact that they want to be competing with the top 3 sides. A lot of the players themselves and obviously the management team, they believe that they can do that. It is difficult when you face opposition like this, but it's about all the players turning up. They have to give the best performance
performance tonight, and they'll know that, and they know that Rangers might have to have a bit of an off game, but you know, in football they've shown that before, anything can happen. Rangers have probably got a bit of pressure in terms of where they are in the league, and you know, they need to make sure that they're continuing to win, so there is that pressure as well. So you never know, but it will be a difficult game for them tonight.
I know, like I mentioned, no Kathleen McGovern tonight. Unfortunate for no Megan Bell, of course, on loan from Rangers, but you've got players like Katie Lockwood, Georgia Timms, and you've got Shadi coming back into the side as well. Big players for Hearts. Yeah,
can score goals as well. Katie Lockwood's a great goal scorer. She'll probably come more from a deep position to create chances, and Georgia just works really, really hard the whole game, and she almost creates chances for herself just through just determination and hard work. So yeah, they've definitely got the talent on the pitch to do it, but they've got to believe in themselves tonight and make sure that every single one of them gets above an 8 or 9 star performance.
And it's a cracking night here at the Orion, which is great for us, but thank you for now. Emma, well, mar a híisiú hana cloichadarin a tchéanamach son game show smashin hitchinga gúrne chadish alsad machgalinaing.
Tá plats gyda'r fi'n fisgur mag efo Charlton, siach geml yn y dagal agos ar reis yn teitl yn SWPL i chart chatawn sydd Rangers ac bad yn y lig ac yn iddys y ced gys 3 pwyng yn loch fer eile hokal yn ei Hearts y sio noch gyda eich mar a fi'n a iddagal an y dyneidion. Sŵler na skipien agus ganyan yn gemach ddiach na le deichner, Hearts hannig y bar yn ei Hibs ag ag yn ioni, gys sia pwyngyn chwyd eichtra agus at y sy'n cherefat Kathleen McGovern y casgys i cart iarach o hokal as i emisyn le Shadi y damol y cwn i tynnistiach na hatje mae ffarst y ga aurchyn ag Eva Olid Rachel Johnston idr yn y pwysg yn aurach ag ile agus eisiau gael Charlotte Parker Smith. Wel, chafwr nath y Rangers astag och y bi Glasgow City the deitl agus at y chwyd ceir tael siachat o'r ffisgur na safait. Joe Potter y da ar y gart y skipper Hoshik Broadwood as y emisyn le Jane Ross agus Lizzie Arnott y teithio me machas y skipper a Kirsty Howard y tidig ha cwtiach agus mian i'ch gael agus fydd y sŵl machas o'n Rio Hardy ag nai eisiau dichir i'ch tael lein an y dichir i'ch game y deisense. Right to the knock, Daniel Graves. Mae trichge an de league in Eishel profession na halape an de game in fed. Agus come fiali Lena Karsten Kujak Daniel Graves at sa hefe with the da skipper knock Georgia Hunter agus Nicola Doherty mar hiisif. Agus singe fenking. Come a heet kusen agus go hoosjes skrointjen. Maar eitje ha idakal die in het jaarsuk hij idwi na terug. Goedjes morgen in Jisker. Agus Colossaan geweldig game. Eentje naar Kadide met Harsha Gorn. Nog een show. Dus eentje voor Jiesje Kudjak. Kirsty Howard de Tidu via de Jan. Hearts Richard Johnston met dat. Het Harsha gaat er een push te nog. Zie ook Aljoos. Dus Jan Joldige. Ik kan niet dus Nicola Doherty. De goede game de deze goedje. De Rangers. Eentje voor ile maar die hier aan de season juni tegen SWPL in de Vlionese. Dus eentje goed er mag de Rangers is niet meer sterk in de darne titel achke die we ook al is een achtbescha show. Dus skip ik Joe Potter kus as kut getol. Kirsty Howard schiessen we de ook de wiel. Maar de na tjige jij wie in de Jan gloen gorstige gach van zoen de bij. Mis jachel Jan. She had told Giek en dan Gemmel en Giek. Paul Treach. Schenken we voor een stukje oorte. Kira Grant. Akalek Richard Johnston. Snestje Johnston van Lavlish. Skaskude mag. Go Lizzie Waldy. This is a sport. Rangers het hoosje gelaatje. Richard Rowe. Macaulay en Humuyi. Stach le Paul Pulach Ring en gaal lijkt in de Schenkertjever. Rangers haast de wiel. Skin hem aan de heinig. Zo kartruim wat Georgia Timms. Nash is check Lizzie Waldy. Timms got Forsyth. Nou klikken zich her game ik de deze. Dus Emma Hunter het nog good the Spiddish to move and Emma, this has all the makings of a really interesting encounter.
Yeah, I think so. I think like Hearts almost, you know, cementing that 4th spot coming up against Rangers, and I said it before, I think that they're the team that they haven't taken points of that are above them, so I know that they're desperate to try and show what they're capable of here tonight. And obviously Rangers playing with a lot of confidence at the moment, so yeah, hopefully two teams that will go for it and we're confident of trying to get something out of the game.
Yeah, Gerf Turus had a skipje in het kan je de deze Rangers er 3 je zijn woonlijk. Nes je meer niet kan leestjag. Het kerst je houdt weer gestjag in de box zag Rachel Johnston en maak geskippelde le Carly Girasoli. Tjenne stjag kus kerst je houdt de voel hoe gaan hij gus hier de je hayalo gaan game. Het tegen hem 2 Rangers. Dat een diep in de zule. Vanaf van een gang in de vaartje gaan gaan nille. Grant te vanaf lees skaskulig mag hij vierne Kitty Lockwood de Lorakach. Gaan je le puller koppel maken dus een eerste simpele jaar de Rangers bouwen ook alles in zijn hele huis hoog. Eerste kort te vanaf lees. Vierne je bouwen weer trekken progen hier. Karim Kaitje, we zetten al maken een plip van het hel. And Emma, just to look there, that Rangers started quite deep in their own half, but almost in the blink of an eye they were there, and were it not for good shepherding from Carly Girasoli, Kirsty Hout could well have been in.
Yeah, 100%, and I think you can see that the intent from Rangers are wanting to start really quickly in this game and make sure that they're a threat right away. It's something that we've seen under Joe, is I think that they have got quite a quick start and they want to make sure that they put teams under pressure right from the start. But yeah, the Hearts backline are going to have to be really on it for the whole 90 minutes tonight against some, top players up top for Rangers.
Skippen gelid. Kaal hun game de deze ze zelf te pitchen te kan jagen. Dan zoent mag het ieder. Maar skippen dus een klikje daarheen en zoent de gast gemaakt. Maar nou, Kirsty Hout, gaan je niet via de Leon. Ze had het hier de deze ze. Je hardy let je gericht tel. En dus kun je wel redden nog goed. Ik kan naatje gast. Ik kan nou gerst. Het zou progen heen toch wel goed. Stjagen nestje. Dus de vier trein in de boxen. Dus twee meter soli tijden dus zijn. Dus hier het plipasje. Gaan game met tegen 2 Rangers. Dus kan maken bal de hele keer in de box on the hill. And how important are set plays going to be in this game, Emma? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, all it can sometimes come down just to one set play in a game. So it's really important that you're prepared and you do your job with the set plays, and especially this early in the game, you want to make sure that you attack the ball and clear it. But equally, Rangers will look to capitalise on this.
Look at that again. The 3 again of Suez, middags Hill, Namisk. Bouwlesjag, Aard, waar Rachel Rowe. En de grokke gedurfd, dat Girasoli aan de heen die eerst. Ha, kutjag, dus mij niet gauw lijkt. Hij schagt de watje tarsing. Mij niet gauw lijkt. Nee, schiet uit die de deze ze. Saar glicht het nu meer dan dan SWPL hun als een waarst. Dus ik dacht van jaarst voor stuurt Joe Potter. En skipper Rangers. Also is de eerste de jarige Machli Rangers. Nesja Rowe Falavlish, Femi Girasoli. Stad goed de nieuwste zijn. Dus hij zijn niet aan. Dus Colosan. Wil Rachel Rowe en Zoom de nog. Hoe die tel is hoort je nog cup in de league. Hier de Duish verstuurd Joe Potter. Dus de eerste. Skip het al van jarstig. Ah, kun je ook eens hard voor stuurd. Even al het. Dus dat je gaat een game gauw. Dat is een schak, ik heb hem met je achter. Gaat doen dan, in de bialen van de hill. Juist. De jarige mag me aan het paardje. Hill mag gaan in melk voor de wil niet gaan lijken. En dus is je vijfde schade hart, dus Jessica Husband. Hier is ik maar ook goed jak. Ook die daar skippen. Ja, goed je wel. Keer Grant gaat voor in de Rachel Rowe bouwen gemolesteerd. Emma, so far it just seems that Hearts are just kind of camped in their own half and they can't just seem to string those passes together in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, you're right. I think that comes from a lot of the intensity that Rangers are playing as well. As soon as they lose the ball, they're counter-pressing altogether and they're making sure they're trying to win the ball back. But you're right, Hearts need to try and get a little bit of composure and get themselves into the game a little bit. String a few passes together to build some confidence.
Gewoon de Reina Trent, Jess Husband, de eerste Cathy Hill. The rain a skip the Rangers. One who gabui agus I scoot an old go. Skip in drauste. Nicola Doherty. The eerst dolfate suas go houdt to ha. Suoge. Willius de pralachas nasaligus. Kakelijk broken heen, had Jan over the boxen. Nestje Bagels Jack, Rio Hardy. Hardy is steek. Ik savelig, but Rachel Johnston is the eerste Girasoli could have broken it. En gaan je more en veugig ze bij aan de hart, ze kan niet ze. Nestje go, niet gauw like. Down zit je Michiel Viecht met je gade hart als husband de eerste. Je is geen Jan of. Je kan wel Jack in de boxen, is de eerste. De scoop gaat vanaf. Willen ze Waldi. Is Gutjem. Is sheet fast. Is line het in hart at sa gongere gedal is a line het in. Is de viagni kuchen hochkrug. Gaan je laten fijn moran korde met aan alle galkata. Ro en estje de galnulkus shogal. Dat Ishel de shock broken he de mal boxe. He was in het haketje gesê voor vast. Ik gesê Hardy aan de hand ik gesê soog me het hier. Far gluich der tien agus a machas am tip on the notion agus Caramela took him two Rangers. And Emma, it was a well worked set piece and it just fell to broken hay and it was a perfect angle from where we were looking at it and it almost inches away from going in.
Yeah, and we just talked about set plays and how important they could be, and yeah, you just need to be switched on, making sure that you're marking up and you're watching those edge of the box players. Again, you can see them setting up again, so it's really important that Hearts learn from that. But yeah, it was a great shot and just hitting the post, so a great chance for Rangers there.
Shabaltel hit je met die eerste boy kan kaljoor en de leentje in Hearts is raad. Kormach geplichtig het vallen, dus een nieuw zit in de schach van Nicola Doherty in de hand. Dus zie hier Denham had al de schach aan de jaar Daniel Graves. Dus jongens je van de game skip uit Rangers zo goed de schach. Je kan bij Hearts geplichtig zoals kan in de paard in de hand. Emma, that seemed like a foul that Nicola Doherty almost had to give away because Hearts were then on the break there.
Yeah, and Katie Locke was one player that you maybe don't want to have that space and time in front of her. So yeah, it's an early booking for Nicola Doherty. She'll have to be careful from now on, and I guess it just shows that intensity that Rangers are setting as well. That she had that desire to get back and try and win the ball back. But yeah, she just needs to be really mindful now of that yellow card. There's still a long way to go in the game.
Gerach is confused with 10 minuten. Drie haast. Dus Fisker kan afhakken. Het hasje Nicola Doherty met de Navarres. Maar Holschjes hard te fase schach in de game. Ach, met de haar. She menig gaan la je fase schach aan. Dus Janne was kunnen boksen. Ach, bal dan het cool of broken he. He. Schach kan niet gaan la. Die is gaan de zoek pulach maken jariges echtere. Zien we krijgen Jess husband hoe het kietjes kunnen wel dat ik hem hou. Hier is Olivia McLaughlin. Jenny Marcus Jenny in Ashko Tessel Middag. This is the Ashko Jenna 5. Nachko Cathy Hill in Estje. Wil machen in Jimmel. Dat kan roel met Hout. Nachko niet gaan like. Die is Kassen skippelt is het vallen voor Jess husband. Je kan like. Vandaag kan je Graham komen in. Dus het helemaal kun. Ja, kaart in de zaal en dan heen. Ze de garme horst de Ranger de bal gewonnen voor de dash. Hout stach go Cornet took al een duidelijk een greep bal de stach in de box aan. Ja, va Kira Grant is raad dus schep dit van de nationale hakken we aan de Rangers on the hill. And if you're Hearts in this position, Emma, what do you do? Because it just, like I say, they're just camped in their own half just now.
Yeah, I think they just need to manage this spell as best they can, and for me, they just need to be, solid and not concede in this spell. That's the most important part for me at the moment. And there is always a time where you will get a little bit of the ball and you'll start to grow into the game. But for me, it's about managing this little spell at the moment and making sure that Rangers don't capitalise.
Oh, stach in de box, hoe gedurfd te Hill en hen hakutjak is middag. Take je met die eerste middag, dus die eerste boy kunnen ze raad. Middag zoals zag hakutjak is Rachel Johnston gekorst dat. Dus die eerste Caramela naar leegharm kan je de Rangers. Maar wat tekent Cathy Hills. Game Girasoli wie is naadje kerst, kamaan kerst en je gaan skippen echtje. Carly Gisoli. Shachat Bicanúne, Rangers must the Bushi. Good yes for Royak London City Lionesses. Ronashenik Glasgow City. Hilka Suas. Maybe Hill Gaelic the shot, husband in the moon. Dash and Esche. The course that's kind of Cousin people here and the help with a he shift. But line Hearts. You let this one Kus Yarn and Osklug at the goal of Kim Halani Saka will Rangers come as the Bjarn and Hashen. Glachke is skip in a yard of Foskate. The end of Matrike the days and sit. Had it just net. Gemel and Mejedig, Shakhtar Giek, a Snukoik Gemel and Mejedigachke. You know, Hearts at 10 come a feel the Bielf and Hug. Then Grieche Tuils and Gich Gemel and Mejedigachkesen. Doch van Jarst van een goedje Spaantje Gachke. Joe Potter, Gary Barakavak aan de Gleiche Rangers. Je zo'n Prahagal stoch uit de smaak gehakke die jij met niet zit. Hardy. Geen echt keer de gommel stuig. Ze klikt er een hart de bal de gommel. Wel mag zo'n satrasjach toe al de paadje. Dus die is pik en vuur genestje. Pik en een gabakker tietje mag ze als een Gleiche Rangers. Dus die gaan de zocht goed. Die is constig voor een goedje. Keer je de Rangers komen al het Zeg weer aan de paadje. Hier is groeien nog heen. En dus die is het val over Chelsea Cornet. En je kan Howard. Tief je Choco niet kan alleen dicht. Howard die is de Richard Roll. Die is Dan Malakun. En als je kind mag. Goed je ma naar hen. En dus haar husband voor de brook Gochel. Die is het B11. Naast je nestje voor Hill. Dus die is een anders een gitter. Dus ik had Hill de bal skulig van een lijn wees en een lijn glie. Go Nicola Doherty. Middag, nestje heb ik aan een beetje in voor bijna Hearts. Georgia Timms. Cathy Hill. Dus je hebt zo'n jeeg aan de hand waar Collis Carfin als zag uit de kleine Gian Rangers. And just for a second there, Emma, Hearts then started to press that Rangers defence just a wee bit more than they have done in the first opening 12, 13 minutes, and it just put that wee bit extra pressure on the Rangers backline.
Yeah, it could be a very long game if, you know, they don't put that pressure on the back line at times. And you're right, even if there's that a little bit of pressure that comes, it can sometimes result in a misplaced place or an opportunity to just win the ball and get a little bit of time on the ball, which Hearts haven't had any of. I think they're struggling with the intensity Rangers are playing at the moment.
De jarige mag, de eerste kata. Dus maar wij maar raadje, maar zorg even krijgen om de wal. Wordt een hele tachers de draaste. Ik maar wij ra, goed te krijgen. Fisker kan maar vat hakken, want Karsten hoort de klok. Dus ik nu garm kerst waarschijnlijk in de game. We broken heetje voor de post. Gevraagd zijn, ha, goedjes morgen een goedje de Rangers. Ik heb nog gelet het. Nou hier zijn de garm en gewoon een gruwig. Dus patiënt toch een uugig. De Hearts naar Gil. Sabelig. Moors wie de week Rachel Johnston in jaren verwacht het. Is toch een jaar voor Rio Hardy. Nestje kata Nicola Doherty of de wal. Dus Hearts had ik al Ruisjes alleen aan de heel. En met Brownlee kon die. Zeg nestje. Lastige de duil. Hij vat de schachet tegen de eerste. Zijn een soort karmen had hem toe Rangers. Jolke joh, dat verder willen de Rio Hardy of the days and sit. I suppose from a positive point of view from Hearts is that aside from that broken hay effort off the post, there haven't been too many clear-cut chances, and they've kind of limited Rangers to attempts like that from Rio Hardy.
Yeah, and they'll be happy enough with attempts like that in the game, and you know they'll maybe at times sit that little bit deeper and make sure that they defend their box, and you know. limit the chances that they get inside the box. But yeah, again, I've said it, I think you can hear Jo at the side here. She's, you know, giving a lot of instruction and talking a lot about the intensity that they're playing at. So it's a lot just to do with Hearts just managing the situation, a little bit more composure. I think in terms of the counter-attack, can we find feet as opposed to maybe just trying to, you know, play a ball into channels, and a little bit more composure in the game from Hearts.
Sin is go I gan lei Forsyth bheit a bí alamh agus chunne sin bhansach más a bích fó Rachel Rowe a tugadh le blámh géarú léiscail chuid ar cháiáil do chuideach cóir a léichead céit de skipin na cumraí Rachel Rowe sa Rachel Johnston cinna meach leis a bhí Iste Hearts a dé úine chud seachad ag Celtic agus a dtíos ag Spartan sa tá seach a dhéisan ach Hearts agus Celtic agus Lisa Rogers close to Glasgow agus Rachel Johnston was at the Grenadian with the court the Gamor. Cornet Kintoin agus is sport the tune dat ze fiachnig bal wie so schacht de line again. Merach kan hen vakira grant geta bal harter wie hardy geweest. Ze de soli van anders van hier toerist gelig lecution. En zo Georgia Timms en eerste boel ook stjachen in de Rangers. Doch die toch waardig. Bal haast dagen. Mag go maar Brownlee. Agus het je verbroken hier is hier de pushing the Hearts. Agus goed to show wie kan maar goed mag. And Emma, we've picked up on it. In particular for Hearts, this could be a really good opportunity with their first set piece.
Yeah, I mean, they've not had a lot of the ball, but they did really well in there. They were running out of space, and Emma just forcing, trying to get that corner, and she did well to get the corner. And you're right, we talked about the set plays, so it's an opportunity for Hearts to capitalise, and that would, you know, change the whole dynamic of the game, I think, here.
Madame Malakun. Nee, bal doing. Grant in hen, de grokkie valaf. Tiefje shot got Monica Forsyth geta. Forsyth gin ma, stjach in de box en Hill, Hill. Klakke goede knim op jolde scheitje. Schisse agus verlaufliche wil. Snorsen bal vo menig gaal mai ga Rachel Johnston mag geskippelte, gus gelige lusje zijn. Dus hier gewoon Joe Potter de eerste kans die keer ballig van een skip echtje. Ik kan live van laten zien wie die eerste man is hier ter is nog got Howard Hardy reaches line. Voor die Georgia Hunter deel ik zijn en zijn je daar go Rachel Johnston. Next go Girasoli. Georgia Hunter, Falavlish. De kan een pietje in voor Rangers. Dus tuil gelior in de bien. Ik taat getiter sul, klingin gewil. Glasgow City is Partick Thistle Kayunan ek tuil de norre ik in ieder se. Dus alles eentje nog gediende in de zijn. Partick Thistle het hasje gezien je misschien. Nee, ik kan alleen nestje. Je doing in de leeg heen. Je dus kan we zitten. Je Hearts. Grant. Garcia dus die is dat kan je Hearts krijgen nog maar wel dat niet dus er is een uniroate dan wel kunnen maken dat zijn de gut van progen he Forsyth als ik hier game echt je gaan deze zijn Monica Forsyth dan ga je de bal haar achter Rachel Rowe en heel Hardy. Cornet. Mach go Doherty. Doherty fiachan de tal agus ha so getien for gluche 13 agus go corstal on the Garston Rachel Johnston. No lack of confidence from Nicola Doherty there.
No, I don't think she ever lacks confidence in those areas. If she gets that space in those types of positions, she will have a shot at goal. So again, as much as Hearts won't mind those shots coming from distance, they'll also need to be mindful, that Rangers are capable of, scoring those, types of goals from the edge of the box as well. So get a little bit more pressure as well on that.
Agus tell the young that Celtic agus Hibs Kutjak. Agus Caitlin Hayes a Kut. Celtic at Hoshach. Tell Canyoni is a yam shen agus Leshen. Shen a Kutjam with the Rangers on the Hots gannach no fine gator. Agus tell Lane. Agus Collis aan the ears just an Darna Tudis on the Da Hayes and will race and titel stock at she is gonna Bayern maar het je kunnen laten gedig. Het je schach kemmel in de dakel. Johnston kaskule suus a heel. Ken heb genoeg het Lockwood kasfijn van de zijn. Maar gaan je de bal maar gepulig maas Jurg Jessica husband. Dus bal de Asha Rangers nestje. No go Doherty. Ik wil pick and room in Estje. Pick and gonna get that gavak as a quick Rangers haast. Hier gaan je laten na heel zijn garm na groeg. Moet er dus na haarsdag dus dit is prostig uit de hart, maar de satje heet game het eerst. Met dat geschach corner in Estje. Falava Grant. Cathy Hill. Tukkel count nach Charles de hek. Meer niet kan like de room moet je de lijn jees. Je kan like Jack in de box gezegd. In de gerokkige geval van Lizzie Waldy. Is het eerst meer niet kan like je schalt in je kunt komen. Forsyth. Could het droog trainen. En je ziet ook een Georgia Timms. Timms kan hem af voor oorlog. Aschke Brownlee. Daar moet ik kunnen. In de stach naadje Kathleen McGovern naar de kask agus Lockwood de steen na hoog vlakke de gosuus na hui ach die ist hartse fast de stach in de jeme agus in gepulig vat de zijn het cool wel in het een kitty Lockwood ach naate is no you look and Hearts are slowly but surely they are growing into this game.
Yeah, they're getting certainly more possession. I've liked, even when they've got the ball, just playing a few passes out the back, getting a bit of confidence and then looking to play forward. And that's exactly what you're wanting to try and do, is find Katie Lockwood running from deep, but she was really far offside in that run and went too early.
So, hier Kirsty Howard, Wasu, de duel, ach, schachet de vast, dus misschien Sue je de skill has show, maar meer niet gaan, like, je schachet het. Jessica husband, Thierry draaste. Die is zachtelijk dat niet meer is van de waarste, dus gaan nu nog de kut kunnen kemmelen in zijn video saus. Die ook die dat het hen maar goed die kunnen het professional te staan dus ga dan van jarst kan jarst. Dus skip is het. Roll. Was het al? Look at Savelijk Skunjan voor Rachel Johnston. Agus persoonlijkje voor Rachel Rowe. Ach, je Cleo Caljoes. Gevoegd Timmy naar de vast. That's a great save from Rachel there, and an equally great effort from Rachel Rowe on the spin.
Yeah, and that's what Rachel does really well, is just finding those little pockets of space in front of the defensive line, and then she's got, space to turn and shoot. It was sort of curling away from the goal, but yeah, Rachel got a good hand on it to make sure that it went, out for a corner.
Rowe. Agus Nesha Bican de goal on the Rangers. Agus Bican de gaal is die game show. Meer gaal dat je go. She is agus see. Gevolgig vandaag geen roetiken. Agus Bishona oorlog de Rangers agus de Joe Potter igen. Ha je de week maak komstig. She is live yesh. That's ha gorgon click there in the Rangers gal got him. He pick an ana legal. And not entirely sure what's happened to Mia McCauley here, Emma, but this will be of concern to Rangers because she's been quite lively down this right hand side.
Yeah, just looking, it seems to be just some sort of knock on the face or something, so I think she will be fine. But yeah, she's already been a huge threat, I think, down this right hand side, and it's a battle of the youngsters really in this right hand side for us, with Jess Husband and Mia McCauley, both kind of young players that play without fear. Jess just breaking into the side from the academy, so yeah, it's going to be a really interesting match-up in this side of the pitch, because I know Jess likes to go forward and Mia will too, so both will probably get opportunities either side to go forward. But yeah, I'm sure she'll be fine, and it gives Joe a little chance to maybe have a chat to the players, get some key messages on, and make sure that, you know, they keep the tempo up that they started with, because it has started to drop, and you can see they're maybe getting a little bit frustrated in the game now.
Well, begint te gaan aan haast. Ach, de zijn gewoon in Sula hartstikke de oudste na die hier in de show BBC al op een game en morgen die as the Rangers in the playoffs aan de Liga hun Cove Rangers could vaak het allemaal zijn die hier in Fiskertje Sarnje fiet met netjes je kook. Snorsen als je Ashley Hearts en gesassen is jullie goed Celtic zijn Fisker Savage keedoeden. Show is BBC al op een keedoeden. Gus Norsen als je die Hearts die eerst. Gus niet eerst een nacht de koop van Halappe. Gus had de klikje Spartans zo gescheen. Ik zie de niet de nog gevaar het. Bal Kashikaljor die hier aan de game in de vet. Gus naar baan show BBC Lappe. Dat is haar Rachel Rowe gerokkige schach. Gehul. Mooi naar de hechtje. Oedelig. Hij valt af. Die eerst. Gus Rangers took a lot of oedelig. Is het Lockwood heeft het hem doen. Is je geen go. Damale kun. Mag go Brownlee. Schauen we dat Rangers hierheen. Gewoon een geliefde door is meedig. Calden die Rangers. Nesje Waldy. Pikken we welk misnach kan de skipper Hearts. Zoals got Tims. Ha teken galarig. Rangers heeft een kuitjes kunnen wel. Dus ha kuitjach dus niet je kaal. En dus die eerste at the fine block. The streak getting a click there now. Hearts just finding the forward players a wee bit more often now.
Yeah, it was a great ball by Lizzie Waldy there. It was just slightly high for Georgia to get, you know, control of it. She tried to take it on her chest, but a really difficult ball to control. But yeah, Hearts again. I said it at the start. I think they will get times where they will get spells in the game, so it's really important that they capitalise on it, they build on confidence, getting into, you know, Rangers' final third, and maybe try and sustain the attack at times as well with that counter pressing to stay in there as long as possible.
Well, she is line go Husband. Bij de laatste goal line het in vlakke is go naar hij. So that the Rangers agus JV in jediges game. Particular tussen de goal het Hoshach Snorsen hier het gewi Kuyunan ha Glasgow City in este de goal daar heel gehoon het Hoshach. Het particular tussen is Warwick Petersil. Jenna 5. Nee, pikken. Unie, dus het is onmiddellijk gewakkig. De hoofd zijn toelig wie Joe Potter. Gochlen, Dash, go middag. Maar geen eerste toch die gaan hele zoer rechtjes poelig maken joh. Ik is zijn in de garme hart te hard. Krijgen we de wel. Pikken het cool de Lockwood gaat Forsyth de wel. Ik is net een corner te laatje. Nou, ik is de bal nog uit je but ik is het een go Kirsty Howard. Net go Rachel Rowe. Eerst Waldy le brok as raad. Corner te die eerst. Maar go je kan niet. Haro. Ik dacht dat je dat er nu raad. Dus Husband de Jerkelish. Maar go. Waldy die eerst. Hartstikke mag van een goed pikken een streak en echt en je koppen de durste. Doherty het ook al. Wil je die slie. Zeg go hey. Dus sang to Emma Brownlee ha gegoene getop. Je Rangers triple jonne het daar weer een keer gestaan weer fiets te gaan. Eerst je hoosig. Ik heb ze ges. We goed zeggen doen ik zelf te gesek. Everton. Dan staan ik in Hearts wat je hartstikke daar jonne nestje. Johnston could broke train. The Grocka Gadash gyda. Down the Kun, down sydd Falad. Casson Skiffle to McLaughlin. You see Fiach and the husband of Lorakach. The Grocka Gadash. Waldy. Hier is een aard de son. Bruni smachtig om aan de luid. Row down to train. En you see taken for you see Lockwood dus Grant in the hen. Ach Bouw Neshek Rangers. Hill van Lovelace. Go. Gauwijk. Cathy Hill. Ga je paard kunnen deze en ik zie de korste hoog. Ach die is de dash dus tikje naar triek. Maar paard kunnen druid. Ach Nestje Cardiff Rangers terwijl ja in die hout te wie trainen en je bal maken jaren gezet dash Nestje Rachel Johnston. Dus is toch een keer Cardiff aan de pikken nu in Nestje voor Rangers had is de Hearts jarig vastgekeken dus geen meer merkje en dan kutje. Lockwood kijk enkel Tim's het tundag. Lockwood kijk je maar gaan je melken husband en Nestje. Ik kan leiden in Ichke, husband de jarige daashjach. Dus le wakach, jemig. Jenna 5 voor daarna karren met de krijgen we de bal. Gediest misje kafas en miskelijk in Hearts. And it just seems that Hearts, as you were saying, they've managed that part of the game and they're growing in confidence as the minutes go by.
Yeah, and I'm hearing shouts at the side about being brave. I think they want them to be a slightly higher line and actually get a little bit closer and put pressure higher up the pitch, which again is resulting in more mistakes from Rangers, and then Hearts being able to, you know, pick up the transitional balls and then capitalise by keeping possession. And yeah, and now you're seeing the wing backs from Hearts starting to go further forward and now pinning the Rangers wing backs back, and that's exactly what they'll be wanting to see more of in the game to try and create more chances and opportunities and pin Rangers back at times.
Merach for Waldy gyda Stiach y cornet, Nesha Row with him al foxe. Row gerg y dash the chasgiawr agus y dash Stiach. Gyfsafod yn y miwchdach yn Rachel Johnston. Ach ydi eich Rachel Row o Shelton y cwmys Casson Skippel te. Agus ffeimiad y fi feich gyda Hearts ac yn ymwneud nawms had misnachel. And just a reminder there maybe for Hearts that they've got to be brave but they've got to be a wee bit sensible as well.
Yeah, and again, it's a couple of times they've just lost the ball in those central, you know, areas in the pitch, and that's the dangerous areas to lose the ball. So I think they just need to take care of the balls in those areas, make sure that, you know, they're finding feet, and you don't want the ball landing at Rachel Rowe's feet and making it that easier for her, because, you know, if she gets another chance, she's more than likely to take it.
Ie chorym yn Hearts blystig yn hyn, ac yn eistedd a Rangers gael yenaf tro Hill, mach go hewit, Hill, yenaf ysglia sias chyn y loine. Hill is Jack go Row, Nesha go Howard, Corrum and Kirsty Howard. Dyd ach yn o'i Rachel Johnston agus se Corrum cailti a sent the Rangers agus Corrum and cailti a tian trich agus minnig y draste. And we were talking there about Rachel Rowe. You probably wouldn't want it to fall to maybe a better player than Kirsty Howard, but it's straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think Hearts have been lucky so far in terms of Rangers have probably had a good couple of chances, and you know Rachel's not had to work overly hard with some of them. It's probably been just right in her body and she's able to deal with it. So yeah, I think it's Hearts need to, you know, take that little bit of luck, but actually just be mindful that, you know, you don't want to give them, especially Kirsty Howard or Rachel Rowe, they're so dangerous in those areas. Don't give them another chance there and tighten up.
The eerste middag het hier in Blijne in Rangers. Is de 3 gemel in echter de deze en zeggen je nog een huil de scaru. Want de Rangers hier het game echter het ook en Johnny voor Jane Ross tegen Snorsen. Daarna game is een league. Want ik had de gake hoen. Kathleen McGovern heeft tel de Hearts is geef nog. Want de Rangers is goed bekeerd gehoen. Ach, gaan jullie niet junus toch ook wel kussen kan niet een skip in ze. Agus maar we in alle de daar een hasje het groentje. Had een naadje na draaste aatje misnachel. Agus gaan jullie schön korstig die Chelsea Cornet agus gaan jullie lekker jeventje korstig die chulpotter. Agus bisje niet maar weertje. And I was just saying there that Hearts seem to be going from strength to strength under Eva's leadership, and she said it pre-match that they're in a good place just now. Akamerach on the hill. It was real hard to get stay. You shach to the first. It was Caramele in the goal of Rangers. It was Hearts in. It was everything all like that. And Emma, probably not for the first time there, as I was about to praise them, but Hearts almost the architects of their own downfall there.
Yeah, again, it's just sloppy balls into the central areas where you don't want Rangers to pick up the ball, that Hearts seem to be, losing possession. And again, another huge chance for Rangers, and they don't take it and they don't capitalise on it. So again, Hearts very lucky in that situation. And if you're playing a team like Rangers, you need to make sure that you're not making those little mistakes and playing those silly balls into those areas where they're actually setting traps to go and win it. You just need to be mindful of that.
And as Georgia Timms is adjudged to be offside, what I was going to say was only one defeat in the last 7. Eva was saying that the feeling in the camp is really, really good, and it's showing in recent results, really, because they seem to be going from strength to strength under Eva.
Yeah, and I think the whole club are behind the development of the women's game, and I think they believe in the progress, and I think Ava's done really well. I think they're going from strength to strength. They're signing some quality players as well. We talk about, I think, Kira Grant and Emma Brownlee that have got that experience have come in, but they've also brought the likes of Katie Lockwood here, and also Shadi, who's come over. She's the Jamaican internationalist as a young player as well. So they're showing real intent with their signings as well, which has really helped. But yeah, I think they want to be competing against the top three clubs, and I think they feel like they're getting closer and closer each time, and you can see that in the performances as well. So it's a huge statement here to try and get something against a team that they haven't managed to take points off of yet.
Ja, een briljant. We dus meer de gewone Hearts naar Rangers. Op de dag die een haast dan heel. Get the hard game at Kayulan as soon as told. Me and Galway Nestor took a wee, you them all the box it. No, Jessica husband, how watch it. Because Jennifer Groin and me and Galway. And we should click a magazine of him. When he get high, could the broke tres Cal the wheel. Because the eerst Swiss line it. Shin, Math of Tim's, because Graham come out. Nestor for sight, if you can the ball of you train, lock could the right train for Doherty is right. Or Shin Pullach. Hama voor 5 Nova Hill, Snesha Timms, Jennifer Stjach, middag aan hen geskuusje in hoogte. En dus Collis gaat vriendelijk in de lijn het Jenek Rangers, kan men haar lijn uitgeta. Zoals Rachel Rowe, Downse Timichel, Jennifer de Boxer, Rachel Rowe vjagen je uit bij de deel dat je de eerste boy kan jaar. En dan Jeentje Hearts is raad. Forsyth. En dus pik aan Nesta Room, en dus Unek Hearts, dus kwijtje dus je wel. Timms, Stjach of Jan de Paadje. Ska skuurlijk go Adam Lekun. Dus is je koude kassenpik aan Schenendhurst de Rangers. Bouw ook al. Ach, bij over terug. Gaan het nu. Joe Potter is skipper coach Rangers. En Gilat. Het hasje gaan naar jou. Noring heb ik al het hasje gaan naar jou. Kataal Rachel Rowe trainen. In de box. Dus was ik in de tarakket. Dus Savelig die eerst. Dus wij forsten gaan heen Rachel Johnston. Toen je kreeg nog maar lid, ga je schatten de vast, dus ga je achter kom al een stuit. Dus vallen vlees, aster de nestjes game, femi middag, tijelijk is show. Dus gaan jullie tijelijk is, hij lokt met de stijge nestjes, ha 5 vandaag, geskippeld het. En dus zie je Shane Boonhoek. And Emma, it's just the game's come to life almost in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, and I think it needed it to a certain extent, and it just it's a lot more open now. I think when the game becomes more open, you will see more chances and opportunities for players to find space and get in behind. So, yeah, both teams really opening up and going for it.
Yes, je wel eens Jacques Hardy, je gaat je zo recht je pullach, ga maar ze hier je. Je kan like, toen dat ze vjagen je de danaket, je gaat die eerst, boy kan kleuren ze raad, eerst je Rachel Rowe. Dus die eerst. Carmen het geen trickjes minnik en eerst de Rangers gaan je laten het bragen gaan het kindje, als ze hebben broken heen, vjagen die Carmen groeien gaan heel. Daar wel kunnen gespreiden die konden die kata. Sjagen eerst komt McLaughlin in de kreeg gewoon de wal. Ach, zullen we een krant van naar Georgia Hunter de goede broek trainen. En gezegd al sjagen te de vast. En dus ik heb vuugig de Rachel Johnston, ik vuugig de Hearts. Echt tegen neupen waarschijnlijk. Is sjag, bij Hearts of the Mission getol sjag kan je. And I suppose from Hearts' perspective, it'll be keep it tight until half-time for Rangers. It'll be desperate to try and break the deadlock.
Yeah, I always think as a manager this is the critical time that you look at on the clock. You know, if you concede or you can score a goal at this stage in the game just before half time, it can make a huge difference. So yeah, for Hearts, I think Rangers have had quite a few good chances, so for me Hearts will be looking to try and make sure that Rangers don't score and go into break 1-0 up, and then they can build on that confidence into the second half and maybe talk about how they can get at them a little bit more. And equally, Joe will be looking for Rangers to capitalise and get that goal, and then going at half time, you know, knowing that they've got that 1-0 lead and they can maybe play with a little bit more confidence.
Caharad agus Celtic has Telcanioni at Hoshach in Hibs agus Gyra Mahi at Shenik Liunia Channig to noch and Bican of Arach Wallach as Darnay Glasgow City as a game with Ele at the three skipping bar in the league as and 3 Telcahoon at Hoshach at Partick Thistle Nest agus Colasan Gro Wallach Sbi nach Tokagat na 3 Pringen High Partick Thistle at Hoshach will Wallach Hashen Shachat Doherty Fiachni Rowan Yachadik in a Barakach the East Hearts still a drug stuff a Merak Naga Machaloiniki and Rangers. It was Gerak Hook with Joe Potter. You see nearly Bulach Rierike Limeraha and skip a click again. Just Joe Potter down below is clearly not happy with the way that the side are dealing with this Hearts press just now.
Yeah, you can see that she's getting quite frustrated at the sideline here. I think at half time it'll probably be again just making sure that they started the game with such an intensity, and especially in the counter press and that aggression to get on the ball, and she'll be wanting that for longer spells in the game. So although she'll probably be pleased that they've created quite a few chances, I think she would have thought maybe should have taken one, but she will be maybe saying she just needs a little bit more from her players in terms of quality in possession and out of possession.
Damalkun. Next you got Grant. You can like Hayeki the Hummer Stach. Next you feel Grant via the Fechkel. Forsyth, next you Marcus Graham come to the Val. Skein go Lockwood. Forsyth. Yes, Lockwood van. No, you can like Agus and you can like the Gavuna who won who gonna rate it. Bal shachat the line against gaan jy Pulach Makelor. Agus Hugh Joe Potter is when you're going to shine. Agus am an navris could be fachgo na ga could be close na ga gama gorstan. As a Jomaru Lochi. Mitchell Johnston Carla the soccer that's a kicking shield gas as he hit you shot. Katashing a tiction quilta of an anti varak. Go be the good this hit you shot, accordion. Forsyth again en aan de hand geschreven begonnen de bal. Dus die eerste hit smoentje. Woordelijk schachet het al een keer. Tims, kan goed go down kun. Je ziet je fijn larak nestje Jess husband mooi de line glee husband. Schach in de boxer, heel aan de hand kata. Je ziet geen je mag. Grant, geen go down kun. Nestje Grantig. Die is die eentje hier de koers te lot. Zoals nestjes Fimi Hunter via de vechkel en nestje. En dus zijn hij Jan of Goseinje Dashka, Rachel Johnston, get er Kirsty Howard in de moon. Waldy, zoals haar husband. Tjoenberg, en dus ik ken maak goed ja gaan Kitty Lockwood de Lorak. Dus nestje Fimi Hunter fijn je shot. Ik kan haar Rio Hardy in de hand dus hij shot de Kutjak Georgia Hunter. Ja gepuchtig Rio Hardy mag zo laat gewoon. Agus die is bij Hearts in ieder geval weer de shot. Polsjak al je. agus go dtíra stí hiad sto cóit na tichi vanetin. Hafah mór an asúlthach bhí na skipíon cajúna na súnis tal. Cornat suas agus go rocha go dáis go dúr a sólaí. Suas. Dochirtí inna dámala cún agus sí dochirtí a bhánache. Neisteach go hewit a go sias agus gréimeiche de glún. Ach sunna go bhí ceart go leor. Í siad í trang Carly Gisoli. Bláice de díis fiáin loine díon Hearts trna hiad tí cast na huarach. Nácar go brogan hé. Agus dí le casteach agus fíteach Daniel Graves. Dars de hiad léic go ceann agus saon leic brogan hé. Bha náir besear agus náir ceart gana hiad lé. Agus up sonnetje bh imime bhsa tían for a fast ach bí íhálid agus skip a coachí níd bh riirite le mar a high cúsin an ag sábhah scanneal bh Rachel Johnston bh Rachel Rowe ach bharachad sin a cúsin a bhí gan a seo hih Caraman agus go háirite hih tal agus sin caiúnan ag Hearts an Johnny, Rangers an Johnny.
A sin gantáil maha tapleite go deara Alistair son a chiad lé agus well Johnny étar na skipíon a seo ag óriam hé sin beach bó Emma Hunter a drásta ha Colum a drásta. Emma, 0-0 at half-time, no goals. What were your overall thoughts on the first 45 minutes?
Yeah, I think initially Rangers started really, really strong. I think Hearts were a little bit shell-shocked at the start of the game. You could see that there was a real intensity. But as the game progressed, I think Hearts started to build a little bit of confidence and got a little bit into the game. However, I think if you look at the chances that Rangers have had, I think Hearts have rode their luck a little bit, and I think Rangers will be frustrated that they've not at least got one goal out of the opportunities that they've had.
Well, you've teed us up perfectly. Here are the first half chances for Rangers, and this is maybe the closest they came off the post, and it's a great effort from Brogan Hay.
Yeah, I think as well, it's probably the only shot that Rachel's probably not been in the way of in terms of that, but it obviously hits off the post. But yeah, and again, that a good save from Rachel. I think it was curling, maybe slightly away from the goal, but yeah, I think she took a really good touch there to just send it wide and make sure that it goes out for a corner.
But Rachel Rowe, she's finding those pockets of space that you're seeing right there.
So these are probably the bigger chances for me. An opportunity inside the box, finding little pockets of space and then creating an opportunity for herself. But again, it's centrally and quite easy for Rachel to deal with. And again, that's just straight at Rachel as well. So I think Rangers will be frustrated that they've not taken those chances and maybe just, a little bit of accuracy bottom corner to find the back of the net.
But this is a one, though, isn't it? Of course, it was a great play in some of those chances for Rangers, but this is just Hearts being the architects of their own downfall, and Rio Hardy, I mean, she should at least hit the target, but doesn't even do that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Hearts have rode their luck. I think it's great to see a team trying to play it from the back and play with confidence, but in that situation, I think as the ball comes back to Rachel, she just needs to miss out the press and make sure that there's no pressure in there in that central area. But for me, I think Rangers could have capitalised on some of those chances that they had, and Hearts a little bit lucky to go in 0-0 at half-time.
How important was it, though, from a Hearts point of view, that they did ride the early storm? Because they did come into it slightly, but in any game against the top three side, it's the first, I mean, the whole match is always tough, but the first 10-15 minutes, just to make sure you keep it tight.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's what the message from Ava and the coaching staff will have been, is to make sure that, you're switched on, you start really strong, you make sure that you're close to your player, and you make sure they don't get opportunities. I thought as much as Rangers had that intensity, a lot of corners and set plays, they didn't put Hearts under pressure too much, but then as the game opened up, Rangers did get more chances. So for me, they just need to make sure Hearts, they're still in the game now, can they get a little bit more up top in terms of quality, maybe a counter-attack, trying to make sure that they create more chances for themselves, but equally they need to make sure that Rangers don't get many more chances like that.
But how difficult is that, though, from a Hearts point of view? Because I'm sure Ava Olid will be talking to her players just now, and of course they'll be happy probably going in at 0-0, but at the same time you do want to carry that threat. So how difficult is it to keep that balance?
Yeah, I think if you're a player and you're a coach and you go out the second half like as you did, and it might end up 0-0, but I think there's a big chance that they'll get more opportunities and score a goal. So I think they would rather try and win the game. I'm sure every single player and the coaches want to try and do that. So for me, they've been shouting it quite a lot. They need to be braver a little bit, get a little bit higher, make sure that the Rangers backline aren't getting too much time on the ball to pick out passes, and make sure that they can try and keep more of the ball up in Rangers half. So a little bit braver the second half, maybe a little bit more composed on the ball, and try and create a couple of chances for themselves, because if they give Rangers another few chances, it's likely they'll probably take them.
Yeah, very likely, as we've seen this season. Jo Potter seemed a bit of an animated figure at times, shouting at her players towards the end of that first half. How pleased do you think she will be after that? What do you think she'll be saying to her players?
Yeah, I think she'll be frustrated. I think you could see as the game went on, she started quite positively from the sideline. She liked the intensity. I think she was getting frustrated towards the end as she felt like they were losing that intensity, but she sets really high standards, and you can see that in all of her interviews. Every time that she speaks to the players or speaks about the players, she demands that intensity, she demands that standard. So I'm sure it won't be that much different to our halftime team talks, and the players will be used to that, but the players themselves will know they need to give a little bit more and make sure that they come away from this game with 3 points with what's at stake here.
An interesting second half ahead, but thank you for now, Emma. Well, Eichle Achúne, sa nada seaching hashing. A dolach leingin vo clicatar va Eich Rangers agus wel kujera vuniche a league call do kuchach jidach da vliena dash. Ach hai Eich hartsenish agus kujera Achúne a corte the show gave maha Kira Grant. Eich tosche gedriach was servachers Eich Kira Grant Eich de clubbe agus chleichi gan skippen nashente Eich ish ook. Ach le Achúne gemór leis a cuasa medicach ba aiche di cúgúna gigianu, a rodriach gyfi aiche e the farke.
I'd known some of the girls from the underage Irish teams that were signing for Raheny and had kind of played for Raheny before it was getting more serious. So yes, we made a decision to sign with them, and we had a great year. And we won a few FA Cups, we got to the Champions League, and it was brilliant. But no, Raheny was the first kind of taste of, competitive week in, week out football. I think when you're that age, you're just young and naive too, and it was just, I'm just playing football again, I'm studying, it's kind of an extension of school. So I just kind of went with the flow, and then got called up at 19 to my first Ireland camp, and it was against the States. So yeah, I got thrown on it right back, I think in front of like 25,000 people. It's funny now thinking back on it, because it was almost, 11 years ago. I was definitely nervous, but it was more of an excitement of, like, this is incredible. And then as you got older and the game got bigger, you're like, whoa, that was actually, that was a big deal. I knew it was going to get tougher trying to do my internship. The league was getting better, the standards were getting better, and I was starting to slip off because the fatigue of trying to balance it all. And then obviously it was my first time kind of entering working life as well, so there's just a lot of new things happening around that time, so I think on reflection it was probably the best thing for me. I don't know if I'd be where I am today if I didn't take that break as well.
A show I dabli in amach, Hiel Kira e dash cúpal coshe le na Sion Swifts an a Davíl sin neich Giach, agus le Norshin Galavi go Shelburne. Hwyd I dash ysteigen skippen nasiente agus le aachig an diaing an na skippen a heidingers an cúper y Crinne, va Kira e gamas id Australia. Ach, yn rygi heen a fuchtig, gus an ida shin a riing.
So then I moved back up to Dublin at the end of 2019 and got back training with Shelburne. The next year in 2020, kind of the latter stages, got back into the Irish squad, and as soon as I got into the squad, the difference from when I played in 2016 was like evident immediately, even in terms of the professionalism of the setup of the federation, but also the girls. Like when I used to play, maybe 3-4 players were professional footballers, whereas now maybe 3 or 4 weren't professional footballers. Where I knew I was like, I need to be at a professional level, training at that standard. You know, an old coach I spoke to back in Donegal, I met him in a pub actually. I just popped in to watch a Gaelic match, and I hadn't seen him in about 10 years, and he was, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm just back, just started getting back playing, and he was delighted, and he's like, what age are you? And I was like, oh, just 27. And he's like, you won't peak until you're 29, 30. So when I made the World Cup squad, I actually texted him being like, maybe you're right. I had a lot of encouragement from people, and even within medicine to take the step, because people always say, like, you're only going to be a footballer for a certain amount of years, but you can be a doctor until, well, it's the retirement age 70. So, I think just when I thought about all of that, and then just followed what my heart wanted and went for it.
Flúis Kira go Rangers san nulach Davíl sfichit siga, agus hútichiat chuna hiad chichtal san SWPL ach de vier. Ide bliana sin a staurich, rin Kira suas a heenching as on glúsat go Hearts, le chomas a leirshing a chlubbe, agus a manager, Eva Olet.
Well, Sean Burt here, the recruitment manager, he gave me a call near the end of that 2022 season, and Hearts had obviously finished 8th at that time, so I was a bit apprehensive about the phone call because I didn't really know what it was going to be about, but he was just talking about the investment that the club were starting to do. It was just a really positive conversation. He asked me would I be interested in coming in and looking at the facilities and speaking with Eva. And I came in and I still was quite unsure because it's a bit of a gamble going to a club that historically haven't done well in the league and hadn't performed the season before. But my 30 minutes conversation with Eva changed my mind, and for me, seeing a young, ambitious female coach, I had a really good gut feeling about her and about the club and the promise of where we were going and the steps they were going to take, and everything just seemed to be ticking the boxes. I have a good gut feeling, and it was telling me that this was the right place to be, and yeah, I signed on the dotted line, and yeah, I haven't looked back since. It's a club that's changing and transitioning, so even from like this year to last year, so much has changed, and the girls that were here before I came said like last year was like night and day for them as well. But we still aren't a fully professional team, and you can see that when we do play against the top 3 teams. But we've a lot of very talented young players, and we are improving week in, week out, and we're just really looking forward to the rest of the season as well. Maybe because we did so well last season, there was a bit of expectations on us to probably beat teams that, say in the bottom half of the split more convincingly, and then that didn't really happen. But I think since the break, since Christmas, you can see in our performances we're much more playing as a unit. We're very excited going into this last round of fixtures and even pushing on to next season. Sometimes I do have to pinch myself and be like, every Sunday I'm getting paid to play football, and I did that my whole life, part-time, was probably out of pocket for most of my life doing it. So just trying to stay like appreciative of that fact. And just enjoy the journey.
Siad gaibh maha Ciara Grant clichetar ag Heart of Midlothian as gytera húne a corta di a shot colody na Jambos agus welcome sin. Biach gile vo Emma Hunter adrasa. Emma, great hearing there from Ciara, obviously enjoying her time here under Eva Olid and Hearts. How important a player is she in this Hearts team? What does she bring?
Experience. She's a real leader as well, so within the group she sets really high standards, and she'll be one that in the changing room just now that will be demanding that standards, and she'll believe that actually Hearts can play better. So for me, she takes everyone else on that journey and demands the standards, and she's part of the reason I think that Hearts have done so well this season.
And I think when she came in to the side a couple of years ago now, and she touched on it there, after leaving Rangers, and of course she came in with Emma Brownlee as well, that was almost when everyone almost sat up and took notice of Hearts. And of course we know what they did last season, of course, coming fourth, and I suppose bringing in players of that experience, that's why Hearts where they are.
Yeah, 100%, and I think it was a big statement in the direction of where Hearts were going and towards that professionalism as well, and 2 players that had that desire to be and continue being professional players. So yeah, that sort of set the standard, and once you get 2 high calibre players like that who are real leaders in the group, but when you go to try and recruit other players, it makes it that much more easier, and you see other players like Katie Lockwood coming from Hibs to Hearts. So yeah, it's a big statement, and 2 leaders in the team that are allowing young players as well to step up, and they're good support for them as well. And you can see that with Jess Husband today, having those experienced players around her will help her as well.
Yeah, fantastic seeing the young players coming through here at Hearts too, as long as the experienced ones. Okay, Vishing Sul Eicherach Ethnic Gemichin Ila had we dol Anochsen SWPL. I say, well, a Toshkuk, Le Montrage, Asen a Cowl, I could die, Axwachanil, Asen it game a cowl. A Stewie is Scarix, which an ass and a cow, a 3 hun on hun and they operate. Celtic will ask and a pool hun Kenyoni and they Hibernian. I say, well, a kite in the race is son a Chichtel Glasgow City, a pool a 3 hun and they Ikeday and they Partick Thistle Vat, Idiedig Sigam Shin. I say, so Gebby Nela, Partick Thistle, Spartans Gamalishkal, Nyoni and they Topanama. I say, Hamilton Academical, Kiernan Le Dundee United. Emma, just reflecting there on some of the scores, Rangers probably knew this coming into this match here tonight, that they'd probably have to win, and judging by those scores, particularly Celtic 1-0 up in Airdrie against Hibernian, so Rangers might not know those scores, but they have a job here to do.
Yeah, and I don't think it changes much in terms of the message and what Joe will be looking for. I think the standards is there that they expect to get 3 points today, but yeah, it does put a little bit more pressure on the result today, because it is becoming fine margins as we get close to the end of the season. So for me, they'll need to come out here and take some of those opportunities and really capitalise and punish Hearts for some of the mistakes that they've made.
It's quite important though, Glasgow City 3-1 up against Partick Thistle. For you, Do you think you can never really write them off, can you? But Glasgow City, where do you think they are in this title race now?
Yeah, everyone always says that you can't write them off because we've seen them come back so many times, but it does have a sense that it is maybe too far at this stage. They've never probably drifted this far off before, but you know, a lot can happen in these games. But for me, I think it's maybe just a step too far for them now. However, getting that result today will be more about pride and making sure that they're staying in there, and I know Glasgow City will be doing that to make sure that they are still around and people are still thinking about them, and they won't write themselves off, I don't think.
Indeed they won't, but thank you for now, Emma. Mas teaching that go Alistair Sanadlish Vishing Sul Eicherach Ethan Kemichin had the hearing and shot at BBC Alpha Celtic a Dosha Carson a Kuthvalch at Heart Agus Gamshin Ike Parka Celtic Jadoni Sachian Ike Cade Uden Agus Notion Vishing that call the Hearts asking Vidal and the Spartans sa Darna Earhood nach an the Kuchpa na Halpa Agus Notion Vishing call the Celtic game was Kane Mora Hashit and the Glasgow City Agus Notion Rangers Hearts Agus me Yidik Vishing call the Glasgow City Agus Hibernian Agus well Hishing that go Alistair is on a Darna Lea Drasta.
Tá plaats ger a víchel. Agus na da skipit nestje dash imach de SWPL show ikorium agus si das na strache. Agus ha aardige getal hier in Rangers. Lizzie Arnott het al hier in Edevaatje. Ek leeuwne. Agus hieshing kook gera hik. Ja, no nachil. Het al hier net. Agus si mianig kaulai. Ha Fudag van de vaatje, ik leeuw je, dus Lizzie Arnott, hoe de dulkus game in de vergake hun naar Glasgow City, want het zaterdag, dus de volgende Rangers keer gehouden die gaan houden. Je ziet hier niet, is namens tel wat ik aan de de Rangers kun je katsa toch die gevangen tot Schenko, Jenna 5. Junnan is een stel, dus de karston de hoerig. Ik heb me gemaakt goed mag is race een titel in SWPL, maar van Michael era Celtic kuntel Canjani het Hoshach het Hubs. En een Kemmel en hele nog, dus hieshing. De boy kan je je me hasho het kan je titel. Ik tasje gegeten. Arnott maar dus hier zo gaat tegen kunnen wel. Kan een go houdt. Is je Rachel Roll fiachnes groen hier met Kira Grant. Is je fijn Barak het broken he in de boxen. He dat is stach. Ik is het al hitte man ho. Welke Lizzie Arnott. Ik is hij het vallen gaan niet pullen haast. Ha nestje. Is gewoon ze daarna zo echt de vaatje gewoon. Nach toe de Lizzie Arnott de Rangers stuurde het hasja ha broken he Janne was. Gaan de lijn nach het je geroeid vallen voor Agus Shosula the Harim agus Emma Dash the Swedish call them. Emma Lizzie Arnott's only just come off and off the bench and she's almost in there for her second goal in as many matches.
Yeah, great link-up play by Rachel Rowe again to find Brogan Hay and then a good cutback, and yeah, it's a case of Hearts putting bodies on the line there to make sure that it doesn't go in the back of the net.
Gochlin en Eshtje Tundags spioenu gevanach aan de Castle Rangers en Eshtje. En mijn nabres is je fakkel naar Cornje wat Joe Potter de Kleunje. Dat ze haar Waldi val af en al komen de paadje. En is fijn kuitjes kunnen wel. Dus maaglees. Dus karkolfische geet je. Met de nabres geheim hart stochen. Keelke kuitje man heel. Keelke oorlog. Waar lijnen Rangers dus dat de schiede gehuil. Ach gejaagke de Keelkeglische goedje machine. Dat is hier het. En dus Hughes lichaam naar gaan groeien gekeken. Van de checkers wie het daar. Grover goedje nog goedje Rangers. Get de herka lacher die haalt in je de hand. Doherty. Nu die ik wil kast wie krieke shows jeme. Ze nieuws trouw waarschijnlijk. Cornet, die al op de hill, dus hill Shanaka, dus gewoon naar husband de stay. Dus bouwen gutje van koppen per ooit. De eerste bouwen, ja, bouwen kan wachten van ja in de paard kan heen. Ach, de eerste Collison wil hard de jongens goed van Geertje. Emma, just emphasizing the importance, I suppose, of Hearts dealing with any early pressure from Rangers in the second half as they did in the first, because you know they've shown that they can do it. It's just a case of having to do it as they come firing at the traps in the second half.
Yeah, and it looks really similar in terms of how Rangers are approaching the second half. Joe, giving instructions with that intensity, and they've come out again. And for me, it'll be Joe be wanting to see that for a longer spell. But you're right, Hearts again are just struggling with a wee bit of composure on the ball in terms of just keeping it. But yeah, it's all about staying in the game for them at the moment, and hopefully maybe they'll hope that they get a chance and goal and create something.
Brownlee Callamach got Doherty in the hand. Doherty Gavar. Grant in Esche. Grant can because ball chumalt de Hearts a chadíist. Diach bunny Carlien les val was corner to fall of lish. Nesche go Howard. Husband de Gale Gilish. McLaughlin, Eve Gadanige for a Garstian. Daniel Graves. Niet van weer dit, ik wil je jemme jenting Nesche Waldi, Carlishetal. She is line a hill the Pialofs hill Kinnebar. Ach, hij dacht er je mag het toe halen paadje. Agus Fachkel naga corner stock a goinje voor Joe Potter. Agus gaan jullie die naar Tav. Net na Lizzie Waldi. Rangers vallen lisje gaan eerst. De klige laatje de Hearts. Nou je luggen durren. Ach get have ook goed kunnen goedje de wie ek Rangers is een keer minute in de tasje krantje aan de hel. Collis het Hearts kunnen pikken mis laatje de Nevada zich hier je in de hal zich Rangers kunnen in die hoor. Hey. Ach gaan er je gare Hearts keer Grant. Broken hey. De Wenge de Galapes de kennen met de gachke naar Servië Slovakia. With die karm met klutje. Hokutter mag de skipper Rangers. Hughes. Staan ik Joe Potter is jach. Stuurt Monkey mag komen, wij naar klutje dit. Naar Saar klutje dit online. Dat ze Rangers this is a line yes. Eerst Monica versaagt in de bar wel de derde shot. Ja, maar kan glachtje me aan de paad gedraaste. Nesje Kormek Arnott. Dus pick and room mechje. Hier via in die Doherty weer. Schach in de box go Howard. Dag gaan nog een stuurde de haraketje. Dus hij schachtte de post die is. Schach ze Korm picken een studie van. Dan Korm mechje zich hier die. Dan Korm keiltje. And Emma, it probably wasn't as easy a chance to take as her effort in the first half, but again, if you wanted to fall to anybody, it would be Kirsty Howard.
Yeah, another chance for Rangers, and again, it comes from the wide areas. They're looking to link up really well in the wide areas, and they deliver those types of crosses. And yeah, it was a slightly more difficult chance than it was earlier, but again, you'd probably be expecting them at least get that on target and cause Rachel some problems in that situation. So Hearts will be glad that they're not hitting the target there.
Rangers took a lot of contact. Rachel Rowe nestjes of Oxit. Klikje laatje, dus alleen het hier en ze komen er mag. Snestje naar de Lockwood krijgen we maar niet. Genoring. Doherty van Lavlish krijgen gecornet. Arnott nestje de wie. Gema kuttermach van het hier van de penge. Dus haalde de rokken van af. Arnott de eerst. Tok er Paulus Jach in de vaste goed. Richard Johnston mag geskippeld dus krijgen we maar de zijn. And it just strikes me that Lizzie Arnott's been, as Mia Macaulay was in the first half, she's been really important to Rangers since coming off the bench at half-time.
Yeah, and I think I said it before the start of the game. I think whether it's Mia that comes on or Lizzie, they have a huge impact on the game when they do come on, and game changers in a sense, and that's what you need. And you can see that the difficult part when you're defending against Lizzie is that she quite often takes you on down the byline, deliver a cross. She'll sometimes cut inside and have a shot on goal, so it can be really hard to manage that.
Neste Jivi krijgen de bal om heel. Dus ze zat al eens aan de Rangers. Is de Lizzie Arnott. Groschen gepullig maar. Dus in de model går. Vanaf Neste is van de Hearts. Ze zat al eens Emma Brownlee. Wel o ddisgo y damol y cwn. Di eist carslach gan hyn. Fo Hearts ach. A doi enni gyddwn fan o'r reit. Di eist ygys corym. Diolch yn gêm y hocr gwp egan. Daniel Graves diolch y ffacl cordi an hyn. Brownlee eisiau sefydwch gyr ma ha. Gyrwydd chwlytingig o sŵr sy'n yw'n si ymol y boxer. Hier, Jyda Soli, y bial o fan hyn. Dyma Art a Hearts yn y heol. Bal Art, fo Brownlee, y grocag sias chafwr nat y higiaeth bial of Georgia Timms yn y hyn. Ach, che treg o Jenna Fife. Yes, chanel skipper, dydach fe'n greu med y fawr yn y heol. Just feels, Emma, that neither team are really kind of controlling the ball just now overly often.
No, it's probably both teams just playing with a little bit high intensity and it's going from one end to the other, but no real sustained sort of possession on the ball. And I think, yeah, it's probably just the start of the second half. It's probably messages at half time about from both managers, probably wanting that little bit more intensity. So both teams going at it, and it's just become a little bit scrappy over the last 5 or so minutes.
Indeed. Because Robin Hay doing. Henrik Lestjach, Timmy Richard Rowe, kent doing je heen, because Grey meen je de wou. Snestje, Lockwood, Brownlee doen we je, Brownlee. De aarpe geschacht to de post, maar graag gaan we zijn vat het vallen. Voor Emma Brownlee, Sean glicht de Rangers, dus wat woelig het Jenna 5 van de Henderson geven ik. En dus hier het garm kerst de Hearts going to game uit het era. And that'll be really encouraging for Hearts.
Yeah, it was a great chance and good link-up play from Katie Lockwood to put Emma, and it's good to see her higher up the pitch and creating those opportunities and yeah, just drifting past the post.
Yes, Sheldon de Hound, de glicht daar aan een jeentje Hearts. Ja, viagen is loine keer en Rangers hebben gespocht. Gaan je naar opere deur schokken dat? Shall Richard Rowe vallen van Kira Grant dus first nog gejoeld gro. Waldy aan de hand krijtjes en je Nesja Arnott wil je aan de show van de Stjach. Hij Janesen Brownlee de Bialov. Arnott de bal de Stjach doing in de voxach. Tik je maar genest go McLaughlin. Nou Timms geen maken dat. Tokkelewal Lockwood de Tumie en gesanke Lockwood het al hier in Kutjak. Lockwood roeien de wal voor Saith de aan de paadje. Het al hichtje man heel ach 5 wat je de maak geskippeld. Het is game vast club kan. Dan goed. The Rangers against the Hearts just has that feel that the game's just eventually opening up a wee bit more now.
A little bit more. Great play by Georgia Timms and Katie Lockwood again. I think for me, probably Katie just needed to hold on to that ball just a little bit longer. Good intention in terms of what she was trying to do there, but probably needed more bodies in the box from Hearts before delivering that cross.
Toch had hij vijf niet. Laura Kanye daar net geta. Dus zijn saar goedje voor Georgia Hunter. Een skip uit de nog. Een skip uit hadden ze een 10 keer brillen in de galaf. Johnston maha. Vijf Giri. En de skip uit de P11. Keem de gaal de satje het half worpen. En we zijn skuddig tot Swoesko hier je. Ik zet de grokken gedorstig. Bij Cathy Hill aan de hand kasteren dus. Trying to go in the key next Rio Hardy. Vlakke de Gostrius. Hardy has to the vowel. Stjaka he. Shachatorka Howard Kata. Howard. Pick and room McArnott to the middle of box. I had a cool of Kumi stay Kata. Ach, the eerste dientje. Hearts and the hand on the patches. And another missed opportunity there, Emma, for Rangers. It's just that final ball's just a wee bit too far behind Lizzie Arnott there.
Yeah, and again, it's just that lack of quality from both teams at times. They're just really struggling just to find that final pass and that little bit of quality just to keep composure of the ball at times. And as the game goes on, I think those moments will become more stressful. I think Rangers will stick to what they know. They always trust the process in a sense, and probably trust that there will be more chances and they'll eventually maybe get that win, but it becomes more difficult as the game goes on, obviously.
Timms, bhaid iad an oid middag. Agus hí is antal isteach cuideach. Agus hí colas gorstar Georgia Timms diach greu meiche i de dream. Ach chluichid eith bhaid iad chumas bal de chumar. Ik gaan kerst gan y ffaadge. Agus Joe Potter gleor eich yn gen of an archwch, darna archwch gan y game. June Ross dol I hynnydd. Am y mwynau nech bu ffatte am y nafrys. Forsyth. With Ash got Hunter. Grant got Adam Malakun. Ishe got school ymach yn y live geisio. Timms, lit gan room, Arna to the Bialov. Timms is stachad, walker. Jenna 5 agus game agus shen fruchtig stachad to the vatje tarsing. Agus an estje, a hartse kudin be at line again Rangers. The Boschenjach gan estje. And again, almost out of nothing, another chance falls towards Hearts.
Yeah, and Georgia's very good at that. She creates chances out of nothing. But yeah, I'm not sure if she was actually going for a goal there or just trying to deliver a cross. But yeah, made Jenna have to work really hard to tip that over the crossbar. So yeah, good effort from Georgia Timms.
Dan Mulliken. Dan Mulliken, de slieën van 0. Agus na cluiche erin ars de theef. I de Walderstjach en doring de Hearts brache gaal. In de dip van de Noschen. Stjach ars gaan de vaste goeil. We leiden ars de grokkig schiesli de soli. Agus gaat Brownlee ach. Gaan je zijn bullig maken jou. Karm Connorstach ach leegkarm stoch ik garre sjaar. Agus vuugig de Rangers de gaan hou. I mean, could you classify that as a half chance, Emma?
Yeah, maybe. I think Carly was just caught underneath the ball and tried to pedal backwards and couldn't get any power or generate it on target. But yeah, I think Hearts have got that opportunities at set plays. They've got, you know, the ability to, you know, big strong players, and I think they need to try and make sure that they take those opportunities. Decent balls in the box, it's just maybe timing of the runs could be better, and Carly just getting caught under the ball and too many bodies in front of her.
3 jaar in mijn hand hier de Rangers, de Ross Bans, dus kun je zeggen Juwen zit je niet. Dus die eerst kun je hoor. Argen ik Joe Potter de Jenef haast te geven de hier daar over Hearts gedaan. Even al het weer het jullie maar koers net al de raaste. Doherty. Die zit al het Ashko, Cathy Hill. Ach, die is hier zo echt pulig gemasseerd. Kun je maar heen, dus je kun je met proben heen en heen. Sarah Ewens. Hannik van de London City Lionesses is nodig. Je hier is aan de heen, dus kun je zelf de kronen zijn. Dus hier vind je maar gehiek as game le na harch na shin. Selfte as game hele haast tal kan joni het hoshach. Dus Glasgow City het heen haast 3 tal gehoon het hoshach. Hit Sewell Kerstik Livy Bans. Zes nog ook. Dus die is Kalak en Esch aan de Clutje Rangers. Dus Daniel Graves keer je het Lizzie Arnott came naar Gaal het Ashford naar hele kort die Joe Potter. Dus toch een vanachting. Pik en Kees, pik en oorlog en Esch dat als je in de golfstjach en de leer hietje met iedere show ik hoor je. Richard Roll. Ken nog goed het Brownlee. Stjach in de box zag hij de grokkige van Lizzie Waldy. Gesplit Boschniele, Gavian. The Rangers show, Gusfemi at Torshu, Piach and Praga, the show. Again, Richard Rowe is just so important to this Rangers side. She's such a live wire.
Yeah, she gets such a free rein as well in this Rangers team in terms of finding the pockets of space and having the ability to move around and find the areas that can hurt the opposition. Again, I think Lizzie Waldy's in those positions has taken up really good positions to defend those crosses coming in and not, you know, beating the first player. She's been there a couple of times and defended really well. So yeah, again, Hearts just need to keep this up. Rangers have made 3 changes. I think it's added that little bit more urgency to their game, and Hearts might start to tire as the game progresses.
Nestor Cormac that Lockwood Barak Kavak Stolhouse Barak Gaster on the Casson Cathy Hill Lockwood the Humal Nashka Tims agus Nestor Hannik Suak me yedig for Tessel Middag Gared Hollish agus Satalastiach Gavi Emma Brownlee said Georgia Tims can have a Stiach Vian the Pathke Girasoli Stiach and a Voxe Tims on the hen nach het tuichen tre go lob and Jenna 5 ha mach met pillet go immel oksach gaan er kus roonje netje de bialf Eerst hunter is raad to the shot Tims tuichen doens tuichen galad en het is goed al nu dan right to it kiss nog een keer in je kaart Coach Kirger came na gal it half kun ade a harangi heen on the biach right it Brownlee the goal 0 go show gal agus die eerst krap wag wat je tedden en de goal soos gemanne sarstje nei die geveef slog het rooi na ga nog kuket pialf de Voxe Suas arst de grokke gedarst le Girasoli. Agus a corm in the hole. Savage skunja. A hair stay. But Katie Lockwood. Agus a Machagnoni. Ha hearts and hoshach egorium. Agus Katie Lockwood. Leis an goikef tal dia geiche sé de days an. A veli the gall could the fjögne file. Na the hike gonna raise on a titel on the SWPL a hoon. Hearts a hoon. Rangers and Johnny. And again, we were talking throughout the first half, Emma, about how important the set pieces are going to be. This almost comes out of nothing.
Yeah.
And despite Jenna's best efforts, it's a great poacher's almost instinct finish from Katie to run in there.
Yeah, 100%, and that's what Katie Lockwood does. I mean, she's Hearts' top goal scorer, and that's why she's in those positions and she takes that opportunity. I think Middag managed to get a wee touch, and it actually unsettles Jenna Fife there in terms of the ball just falling at the right place for Katie Lockwood. But to have that composure to make sure it just goes in the back of the net, and that's exactly what you need. And you know, as long as you stay in the game and you get an opportunity like that to get the ball in the box, these things can happen. So now I think Rangers need to, you know, stick to the process. I know they will. They'll still play the football. They'll still have a bit of composure. But yeah, they'll really need to try and up the ante and create more chances now to get back into this game.
Agus I hier Cormac I valid. Argu Janus Danny Findlay kenid. Agus is skid baich gyd hos a Hearts a hoon Rangers and Johnny. Agus a ganyan y fawr chwyd cyn y chlychau y fi ac Rangers hat y ddiedig y sio agus unig y liorach y haast rwtig yn ein y jem ys ach gygerach hynny skipper Rangers at y glees hedd noch yn y hio y ddim oedd bal y gneud yn y noch so ha Jane Ross y bod yn hwgs satal y stwy y tŵal yn y path ge drwg yn hi dog a gal Agus Mira skipping the vi fast gron shot Hogan he nest stiach in the box agus he gain stiach the eerst Johnston Shears Ishop gesmach go malit agus nung vlierne de gaan voor wonig Hearts me jedig na Rangers on the Davile se koik kiek Ja, gewoon een dogvies. Pearl Canjoni van Larsen. En laat dat pikken en wel dat ficht me net. Het vanaf van het jaar wordt de jaren van die eerst aan de heel. Ach, maar hij koffie aan de SWPL hun. Gaan dan goed. Kunnen skippen in een paar in de league. Akel. En mag ze race van de titel laat ze haar. Dalke we show. Ergens Girasoli de Garcias. Ergens haar colors aan stok. Wie een beetje zeggen te show. This looks a particularly concerning one for Hearts here, Emma, because I don't know if it's maybe a hamstring or if it's a
Yeah,
thigh.
I'm just wondering if it's a bit of cramp or something in her hamstring or a dead leg there. But yeah, they won't want to lose Carly at this stage of the game in terms of her defensive ability and also her contribution further up the pitch as well. And you know, she was the one that headed the ball onto Katie Lockwood there. So yeah, I'm sure she'll be fine.
No, you Eddie Dash Casson say Dash Cligus some Navras Graham a Kerst Gretidach Bully of Loon Sarah Ewens one can help. Next the Danny Rangers show. Jenna 5. Die is Rowan Hugel Fatte, dus je dit bemag. Gerokken gedurst got Sarah Ewens. Grant on the Henke Tacha. Ewens is Tachpi. Next Forsyth, die kunnen nog Janevas met Pillet, she is line. Forsyth, Stjach, die is gaan je bal, Pulach Makeliot. Agus Klanje to Stolch Goog, his Joe Potter. And again, with about 21 minutes left on the clock, you can sense that there's a wee bit of a haste now in Rangers play.
Yeah, I mean, there's still time in the game, but yeah, obviously, I don't think that Joe would be happy with a draw either, so I think she'd be expecting 2 goals. So they've got 20 minutes to do it, and I think, you know, the Rangers very rarely change anything. I do think that they believe that they can still get back into this game playing the way that they play, but as the game's gone on in the second half, I've not seen as many clear-cut chances from Rangers, and they've not created those chances, so that'll be the worrying part for Joe.
Ieder because at de kale maaghouden aan hen kutjach. Zo maar kwam kan ille en je hoog wil zelf te haast tegen een heel het hasjach. En dus waarschijnlijk uit de grootste bietachers is een niet minute het hasjach hoor is gach game. En ze broken hij voilà dat hij de tarskelaar aan de hen le husband dag. Bal like Rangers haast Hill middag. Middag is Georgia Timms ora agus Timms de satelle sjach gewonnig agus a sin is Joe Potter de hameltje bulach agus die is heavy Calax be at Hearts and Esther, and it's going to be interesting seeing how Hearts manage the game now, because they've had to manage it in a completely different way for large parts of it, but now they have a lead to hold on to.
Yeah, and I think the important part for them is that they don't drop too much off and they don't press higher up the pitch like they have been doing, because I think that's what they're getting a bit of success as well, is that Rangers haven't been getting that much time on the ball. So I think they need to continue with that and not just fall into a low to mid block as the game progresses. But yes, it's all about game management now for Hearts, and something that I think in the past they probably haven't done as well in certain games, so I think they'll be looking to make sure that they take advantage as they're 1-0 up, so they won't want to leave this game not knowing that they've done everything they can to hold on to this lead.
Tjera Soli van je mogelijk van een skip uit aan de Henderson zit op wonen zie na Jane Ross's moon who gonna shine. Tjera Mikhail hees jij kude de right dit. En dus Hearts haast gonna zit op gal en some andere scratchen toch geskielke zakken zo'n woord kunt kunnen niet minute nou een sloe daar gaat de socket. Middag kude trok trein gaat niet goed ach soos. Nesha Forsyth, hij bier geweldig mag. A brilliant reed cool of a line again on the hill. En zijn vlakke vudig schies. Nesha go Forsyth, ik vier in de grante larakach. Nesha middag on the hill. Dus hij teach hem go Georgia Timms. Shot to the first. En dus caught him in it. It teach him 2 Hearts. Ach, caught him billig to Georgia Timms. Dus hij kieldag. Again, Rangers now making the mistakes and gifting the ball to Georgia Timms, and it's a difficult one on the spin, isn't it?
Yeah, and probably just rushed it a little bit in the end and probably had more time just to take her time with the shot and make sure she get a good contact on the ball. But yeah, again, Hearts showing that they're still creating chance. We have chances here and there.
Hey, Jack and Voxe Kien Fat Hewins get that. And the Bants in the Voxe motion about with the school of the Machley Forsyth. Kien Dashkas Kush and Skipple with the Hearts. Just get the wall of the Rangers. Can you Kus Kavak na glitje? an na sí chéim mar seo for bhfuil satal seachach gan na náide líchar cummarstach. Díist chenne leat cummar smach go bhá agus é fallaf. Brac sias a loine. Cwsedd ys an Georgia Timms agus Doherty. Ceichi gas y gwy, gas greu mewn i ddefal. Lasgo, midag yn estri. Sfa. James Finley. Cwmar cwtym. Ydd midag agus y Jenna Pfeifach. Fyg yn rhwng mec Rangers yn estri. Sias y loine. Nesja Sarah Ewan sy'n stay, ach game of Georgia Hunter fi i gleis yn hyn. Yn sy'n ffein i bal y ffalaf wyfbit. Clwyd y dau. Gyma cwnnwrstach yn y Sarah Ewans. Siach tael y ddes yn sy'n gyrig y sio. Mae'r fiel eich i tael. Eile y chwyd y sianad y sien. Y sio yn och. Arnold, stiach yn eistio go Ross. Rachel Rowe go hwgals. Yr as go Jane Ross. Ni eistio chan yn môr yn rhwm. Skip y siach skip it. Stiach agus dhíis sá pwyti fo Georgia Hunter cos y bal y fwolach far Lizzie Arnott at sa archwch eile y dol hyn yn y hel agus gyda ar I handlu dol hynydd the skipper Eva Ollard and Adi Handley looks to be coming on as Eva's second change, and again is it maybe a game management kind of substitution?
Yeah, I think so, and I think obviously Brogan's a player that, you know, is getting forward a lot of the time and is getting a lot of time and space. I can see Jess is sometimes jumping to go and press, and maybe Eva's just looking for Adi to come on with a little bit more instruction and maybe just to make sure that Brogan's not getting a lot of time and space in that wide areas and defensively just to secure things up.
Adi Handley maha 8 agus Jennifer Lionel go tú na pádke at sa Rachel Johnston could have broke na show. So was nestje de grokke gedort. Oh, nach doe Brown Leake. Hij de skulige machen do hal. Broken heen nestje Shia Sabine Casera Ewan sa ga. Moldy aan de hen. Hey, die is fiach in de bal get swit in de groege. Agus ha Collar scores to show is Broken hey. Agus ha wolach aan de hoek. Rangers. Agus hier right to the kid skippe coachy agus skippe medica kanaal is toch hier te zoog na hier te kanaantje kan die handelen se jeme jeetje en vert ne pinge en geschiesing in de heel ja broken he die eerst ja ne fijn stach ges het je gaan namach ges gema arch to the cas just looks like quite a late one on Brogan there.
Yeah, I think Lizzie Waldy's just went to almost get everything behind the ball and clear it, and then the follow throughs just caught Brogan here there, so looks like she's in a bit of pain, but yeah, hopefully she recovers and she'll be okay to carry on.
And this will be of no benefit to Rangers just now in terms of Brogan's health, but also in terms of the delay in play.
No, exactly, and this will be exactly what Hearts want, is it to be a little bit more start-stop in the game, and they'll be hoping to slow the game down wherever they can, so this is just going to add to that time that Rangers it's taken away from them at the moment. So yeah, it looks like Brogan's okay now, so it'll be a case of probably just try to keep her on the pitch, and she's been effective in that wide areas. I think Lizzie to start with when she came on was really effective on this left side, but it's gone a bit quiet down this side, but Brogan's been getting a little bit of joy down that side as well.
The eerst goed het Rangers, maar han niet een shield gas. Dus visach kijk Wallonië roei en mager. Nestje, die is. Dit is het. Had het al eens serve de Rangers. Dus karm bal de hele keer schachen en woksen. Agus morning af Brahagar in the Gordonse, Rachel Rowe could the ball she is to the Dalif. Say the Connorstach trying to game it, morning ball Connorstach is the shach na hill. Genoring Shane of Ruckert, take him a dash Machko, McLaughlin as a coon. And Ash and Eshka Doherty. Doherty could have broke Tres was game of Voxit, Ewans and the hen. the eerste Hearts déirge this. Neste go brogan he, had ashe the castle agus Collis Fallon yore. He, Stiach the boxe agus he, if moon, Rachel Johnston a chadíist, sochgud, agus Savatje na waven, agus Koski shot kick na gaile. Again, Brogan, as you were saying, Emma, causing issues down that right-hand side, but that's a solid take from Rachel.
Yeah, you'd expect the keeper to take that, but actually, Rachel coming in, coming from Celtic and coming into this Hearts team and coming into the squad here for today, I think she's done well. I think a lot of the balls have been at her. Of course, I get that, but she's collected everything with confidence, and on another day, a keeper can spill that under the pressure of the game as well. So she's done well there to sort of take the ball and take the pressure off the Hearts.
Arne Dinesje, agus barach imi dul hier in het Hearts Dinesje. Het is een banska een stiach Rachel Roll. Down zit van laag gediecht. Gaan er een bal naar haar sta. Handley could have broke train. Tikje show Dinesje got Danny Findlay. Findlay dash. Agus Suez. You can see Georgia Timms. Ach, de grokug go Olivia McLaughlin. Nestje, Sarah Ewens, Isha Fiachan, de bal vier trains, hij al hitem kan Lizzie Arnott van de heel, en je lesuur echt je pullach ma, en hij stiach in de in het kleer het hou, en je hier zo gaan, het ook had hem zo beat Lizzie Arnott, en je got hem kijken. It's just that first touch from Lizzie there just takes the ball away from
my
the goal.
initial thought was maybe she needed to take the touch with her left foot and she tried to take, I should maybe try to take that touch inside with the inside of her foot and maybe would have got a better contact on it. Poor first touch, and you could see how Jo was really frustrated at the sideline there that she didn't capitalise on that opportunity.
Scialach yn eich the Rangers. Corrum in a key, and he's corrum in a fall off. Roll, Machgo. Brogan he, Sarah Ewens bringi. Pullach smach kom maar ledig is Waldi stappen de bal macht het toe halen het taatje. Kijk me net in de dakel maar ha. Kijk me net in kom goed mag. Ek moet nog een SWPL. Nog niet de Rangers wat kunnen groeien aan de heel. Ewens is jaag helemaal de box dus hij de stappen het vol af. Morfinley Lockwood. En dus een andere scheme hier nu dus ik klopt het er een hele, dat je in Hearts geloven en Shani Janef, dus niet ik ben net in het huisje hoor. Middag. Tokkele count, dus Gavier Suez got Jane Ross ha hart de stach, ik geheen. Bans de tundag, got snassel. Mulke Hill. Goede dingen van achter Jenna 5 finish aan de Hearts, en gestoon aan de Hearts goedjak. Doherty. She has a line of Harry Hain, Lizzie Arnott, the Rav. Agus skelch na haike, the Rangers are shine, and it just seems, Emma, that these kind of mishaps seem to be the story of the night for Rangers so far.
Yeah, and probably at this moment they're regretting a few of those the chances that they had in the first half to maybe just settle the game down, but because they've not been able to do that, I think the game gets more and more tense, and then we've seen more mistakes in the second half from Rangers as well, where they're usually quite composed in that situation. It was a 2v1 in the wide area, so an opportunity for them to capitalise, but didn't do that again.
Soos geleeg slie. Agus maach het toe al in paadje. Agus Koski shot dik na ga varak de Hearts. Agus han je laat aan de gavak se bi. Agus han manavre skul right het toch smach de show. Met de haar de Janef. Soos lees nestje. Carmen had de Findleach. Rangers gele dis agus Jenna 5 could the prog train. Ja gaan die kuite zijn je vat het vanaf. Van het heel echt heen. Lockwood. Tjundako Forsyth. Tjundak Snassal agus Shias Line go Georgia Timms. Noring je gewoon aan de steek. Genoring. En haast misnachal. Kluche misnachal bij Hearts. Hearts haven't necessarily sat back on their lead either. You know, they've tried and they've had opportunities to break and they've tried to make the most of them as well.
Yeah, and I think that's important because, as they say, that attack's the first line of defence, and I think when you're facing this situation, sometimes it's better to keep going and trying to put the pressure on them, because then the more time you spend in their final third, the less opportunities they're going to get. So It's good from Hearts in that sense, but I just think they just need to be a little bit more mindful and be careful with the game management. Legs are starting to tire. You can see some of the players just kicking their legs out and stretching a little bit. So, they've got another 7 minutes plus added time here to hang on and make sure that they see out the win.
Cagúna Cian two Ranger Nestjes at Dol Hilgar Chavor Hulleting Suez got a Vox Hart. That's how Rachel Rowe with all Nulka Shogal. Rowe Maha Fear if the click it in the Yen of Shach and Vox. Shin for the ball the dol, het al hitje van de hill. Go Cathy Hill, haar lastige de danaket. En dus hij bochtig is Vox. En dus wil het allemaal gaan, het allemaal zijn plek van de noshing. En dus aan een koekloch de Hearts on the hill. En dus Lizzie Arnott de Lul on the Kavak Shogal. Het is at Saha, een klikje der een aard haast de Vox. Arnott doing het Bielf. En dus hij de grokkige vallen voor dus die is. Niels kom je pullach je Rachel Johnston man. Dat Shackley Rowe is brak gemaakt als Vox oordelen. En dus een pivot goed het hart. Ik kan je dus Doherty geskuilen gemaakt van de lijn glie. Arnott. McLaughlin de Shears Lane nach hij run heel de dash. Doherty nestje go pants. Doherty tundags Genevas Shears Lane. Dus die is gaan anders een gieteris. Gaan jullie heen dus Lizzie Arnott de nul raaf. Dus nestje haar Rangers on the sea hook gemaakt koekelig. I suppose with time running out with only about 5 minutes left, the clock compounds these errors as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's just been a little bit of miscommunication as Lizzie comes short and Nick Dockett is expecting her to go a little bit higher and wider. So, yeah, I still think there's time and there still will be another chance in this game. So they just need to make sure that they, believe in it and keep moving the ball around. And Hearts equally, I'll just need to just manage this game and make sure that,
Nestje, die gaat hem aan de hel. Nog into Georgia Timms fijn aan het hasje Jenna 5, af Jenna 5. Een mooi geskippeld te, ik jemig wie. Die is hard zich niet graag gaan in de middagen. Rangers. Goeie mission gehad ik. De smoeiste dash go maar de hoosje gaat dus hier kook naar tje winnetje. Trokken heen. Hill. Nestje go hoekal. Met je kunnen shield gas keer minute in de akel. Show Godium. Aan een nummers Rangers. Dus voordat ik Barne League, les Celtic het hasje gezien game hele. Olivia McLaughlin de nestje. Bans. Mag go Doherty. Arnott. Arnott schach in de box. Hakuseet. And this cut him Kyle Emma, obviously coming to the end of the game, looking at player of the game, who's taken you by, I don't want to say by surprise, but who's caught your attention tonight?
Yeah, well, for me, I think Georgia Timms has worked really, really hard. She's created chances out of nothing and she's got the foul that got the goal. But for me, it's been a really good defensive display from Hearts in terms of especially in the second half, minimising the amount of chance that Rangers have had, and I don't think they get enough credit in the defensive line. So I went for Lizzie Waldy. I think she's done really well defensively. She's done the simple things well. She's cleared her lines when she's needed to, and played long when she's needed to, and she's covered that wing backs and the 2v1s really well in that side when she can.
I guess Shin Mahat Garabug, Lizzie Waldy, Bournemouth, Clue, Sar looking to the game. I guess Kate Mooney in Van het pikken binnetje met je gevecht en die krijgen we goed maar de neudel, hij schaart de skipje in het draadste. agus hí sin Davanit go má cavachach de Rangers Davanit chuir mi ceann éicineach slúteach de Hearts agus at de cumar smach i de cheiribáte bhús at sciapringan a thoiseach a Hibs de húne de chúis gin bhar an hen agus at dolfin nearst go nearst Machgo. Hey, agus níos Hearts a ball gait suas a chaburinte Danny Findlay kofa draw again go smach go chwalit suas an est jida soli suas idíos agus grant de túndag níos Danny Findlay dach darna cluchidach yn y fawl chwb fydd bans hey túndags Bwyach yn y bal ein siach yn y fox a chydíos chan y cwpr hwg ymach de Rangers Danny Findlay cwyd y brog dyna i cwmyn ymach gyda'n y gysŵl mi ydig fyr stoch yn lia a chadanig seg brog yn hyn a lafyn munud mi ydig y goriad Hearts y hwn Rangers yn ioni agus Cormawn gyfieg Rangers haast Colos am gwyl 5 minutyn dy gwyn i farach gyfian ag dydig i gêm ys sa'r chwychtydd ar y gêm was i waldri stop y gybawl machyd 2 hal na pathge Nash nesg agus Cathy Hill ag o sias agus Eve agus Sgiaf agus i sydd fwnnach ag an anatio cyma cwmwrstach an na heo ddiest Stiach Kate Mooney again Joe Kinfert na Binge we go stiach Cathy Hill a gwach gyda Karenamach agus sio de Corin Mahurst de Rachel Rowe agus gerab gyfil 5 minut yn y ddagol 5 minut yn the Rangers fiach ni tawl farag Siach yn eistedd y groc agus Siach agus he tîn cynhygla Docherty sa'i wasig Siachat de vatje tarsing agus y ddiest y dic yn y siol gas agus na Corim yn y siol gas the Rangers balde de groc agus falaf le Brownlee sa'i tichtjum Chafór chasnog sy gyr ydw cynhygla Docherty Gavin Corim an y cafach agus Siachat in de vatje tarsing Suas for Johnston. De grokke gedors le McLaughlin. Dochty the ist le count. Agus Lockwood Gascula gan ol go 2 hal na pathge. Jimmy Waldy geelig le shot agus hy gian of shen. Maar hy de vi gian of turn game with hat. Sochgeit stolte. Agus hy roei.
We're a minute into the fight.
Mach 2 hal na pathge. Aldo Asha Cathy Hill in Esche. Suas Nesche. Ewans, Nesche wil het al heeft got Rachel Rowe on the hill. Rowe! Agus he Savlug Scunyal for Rachel Johnston. Silmi Gadanik a fuse for the first Kutjak. Agus Adish. Hearts haast dit Hashach. Is na minute me jedig. He tichting got Rachel Rowe. Ach, weet jidach. No hound je. But for a roy in the hen. Agus Adish. Kira Grant to do the show. Agus she is at Immel de Voxevik. Agus Koski show. Dick na na fuse minute na at sa skip medica geen we slie nul Kira Grant ach die eerst Carmele kailt de Rangers ach dit de Rachel Rowe die is Docherty Suas en de grokke gedorsle Ewans agus kich kus aster de wel had ik gehad hem de Rachel Rowe gelachig kus stoch een pikken een stilie de Rachel Johnston agus Skippy shot na bhar bhfuil achnis gom stoch in je crampa han na dé héad go cear. Agus dhíist carm cailte ile de Rachel Rowe. Agus stoch a bhí pick in a bharach gúne i de chuúth in a 5 minute in a bharach. Seo mar hannig gedul ma ha Brownlee seach sa de grokke gedurstli dúr a sóli ja middag slaich garstedach. Katie Lockwood aan de hen kus se stoppig seachat is jina 5 verhoed lavike. Dus misschien je een minuutje warach kan weer de goed in de kook. Dan ga je goed disje game met haar. En de grokkig de eerste middag aan de hen. Zoals Lish, Gimel de Vox, Nestje Fimi Johnston wie mag geskippeld het hasje gejuwen zoals hij zijn tundag ze valaflische wel is een sport. Die is toch slag qua hart aan de heel. Nestje Hill, nee Findlay, dus die is handly de shot, could de proog train en is hij kan jaar de paadje de Rangers van een hele gachkussen je. Maag dus zelfde cast telke Johnny het hasje gezien mele. Unie roeiemaag het Rangers aan de heel willet het al hichting en daarna uit je liegen nog. Geluk alles aan gewild met een fijne trutik in aan de heel. En dan gaan we Doherty zo meer de getien voor Lockwood. Dus nee, soms verglicht er je heen hand zullen we Lucy Arnott. Dus het al maag zo'n trip van het heel. Bros nog een getien van uit de paadje. De hart ha. Die dag chicken is vanaf van jacht 3 uur groeig. Johnston ha Suez. Is vanaf in de grokke gedurst de Findlay. De grokke ga doch die kunnen proog trainen. Zijn nestje Kienko. Georgia Hunter. Arnott, Stjach, die is Brownlee aan de hen is naadje. Gerst, ik naam Gerst. Doherty. Stjach, dit go. Jane Ross, van Kedanike voor Karsten. Doherty, Stjach, die is de grokkige vanaf. Jishvi aan de lijn kien. Middag, dat gaat Sean de Gavak. Stjach, Lish go. Jane Ross had je onder het vanaf op Brownlee. Ross, Stjach en de Vokse. Dat is het eerst. En vanaf. Dus. Je dacht, ja, we willen Celtic het volgende hotel kan Johnny. En is een goede colors aan met een haarig kritieken is een teken show. Haat het al los, het kan mollige league. Rangers ticht hem kunnen daarna uitje. In de eigen meervlucht de Hearts. McLaughlin. Zoals Lish. Go, hey. Gaat hem meedig, zoals Kajuwens ha krokken gedaard tegen Savelig Ishel voor Rachel Johnston. Het is er veel schijn in de game of ongeluk. De Hearts is met tikken meedig. De eerste balk 100ste geschacht van hij. Juwens naar hen. Savelig stolt de kajoor voor Rachel Johnston en hij wie schiss van vat naar heetje. Men het kajoor warak in de kook. Een schijn eigen jacht uit de Hearts. Hier terug aan de nungpleelne had de goes in met Rangers. Ik is er schon hier terug van Schuud, Evalid. Ha, de Jumbo zit een goes in het Rangers shot. Le Pearl van Kitty Lockwood. Giljoor, kus een Skippy en een Scarug. Een Shoikorium, hij het kreeg nog. Hartse hoen. Rangers en Johnny.
Gera Alistair agus wel eich echt alle hound de hart agus diedig Gera we gaan hun asen is boondig hun Johnny en Rangers agus Shell Celtic asen in de rol goed moeilijk de league een punnik en Hibernian hun Johnny agus diedig Gera we het ne scoregenele hadden we al nog zijn SWPL agus vision soul eicherach eet maar ha een klaar een quiet als Joey ne gameichen show. Gera we gaan hun Celtic is gloset goed moeilijk in de league en is je daarvoor het hossig het Rangers agus wel hard het heen het mis is gloset goed 9 punten het hossig het Hibernian se Gera vacha. Delighted now to be joined by player of the match, Lizzie Waldy. Lizzie, well done tonight. 3 points against Rangers. Just sum up how you're feeling after that match.
Knackered. It was a hard game, but I knew before the match we were going to get something out of it, and all the girls in the changing room believed as well, so we were just buzzing.
But what does a win like this do against Rangers? Because many would say it's been a long time coming for Hearts to beat one of the top 3 sides, so just sum up what this will do to the group.
At the beginning of the season, one of our targets was to compete with the top 3, and we've pushed every time we played them, and we've got closer and closer, but we haven't quite got it over the line. But tonight, 3 points. So this is what we've been working for all season, just to get some points off the top 3 and cement our name as one of the big teams in the league as well. So
look, we can let you get your breath back for a minute. Emma, I'll bring you in now. We'll look over the winning goal. It came from Katie Lockwood, and good delivery, a straightforward delivery from Emma Bremley. One in the air by Carly Girazzoli, and just Katie Lockwood in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Katie does, and we said that in commentary. If Hearts get the opportunity to get the ball in the box, they've got the height, they've got the power to be able to head the ball into those positions, and Katie was in the right place at the right time, and a great finish to make sure it goes in the back of the net. Good
to see that goal go in.
Oh, I can't even describe the words to see that ball roll over the white line, but
what was key in the final few minutes? Because we spoke at half time, of course the first 10-15 minutes is always important at any game, especially against a side like Rangers, but in those last 5, 10, 15 minutes, what were you all thinking? What were you all saying to each other?
I think we just wanted to be more aggressive than we was the whole match, winning the first balls, even getting the second balls, just not letting them have even a chance on goal, being right up there behind them, trying to get us foot in. So, yeah, just being more aggressive, and that's what we were. We were aggressive on every single ball. We competed for every single ball, and you can't really ask for more than that.
Another big game as well to come on Sunday against Celtic, so can you do it again?
Why not? Why not?
Good answer, but Lizzie, thank you so much for joining us. You are tonight's player of the match, and enjoy the celebrations now.
Brilliant,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Emma, just a massive night for Hearts.
Yeah, I mean, we said it at the start, and Ava said it at the start. It probably needed Hearts to be probably one of their best games, and then equally Rangers to have a bit of an off day. I think Rangers did have a slightly off day in terms of in front of goal. I think they probably will look back at this and think a lot of chances missed. However, it showed a lot of desire, like Lizzie said, and determination that Hearts really wanted this, and when they got the goal, I think you could see out there that they weren't going to give it up very easily and make sure that they got the 3 points. So yeah, and it probably adds a little bit more to the title race as well, which is exciting for the finish of the season. But Rangers might look back at this game and think an opportunity missed, really. Yeah,
I was going to ask you about that. Of course, tonight is all about Hearts, them finally beating Rangers, but where does this leave for you the title race? Of course, Celtic now top of the league by 2 points.
It's kind of wide open again now, right? So, and that's what we want for the Scottish women's game. It's great to see that. For the movement to change at the top, and it's not always consistently one team, but for me the momentum's probably sitting with Celtic now in terms of, we talk about Rangers winning convincingly at the weekend, so did Celtic, and they seem to be having a little bit of a boost now with the new manager coming in, and they've settled. So yeah, it's going to be a really exciting finish to the end of the season. So for me, it's a tough one to call at the moment.
Is it going to go to the last day? I have to ask you that.
Probably. I think it might do. I think it might go to the last game, which is again what we want, and hopefully replicates the same excitement as we had last year in the SWPL title race. So yeah, it's great for the women's game, but yeah, again, Rangers will be disappointed that they've slipped back into that second place position. And this game tonight just tees us up for, just final word from you, Emma, tees us up perfectly for Sunday's match at Celtic Park. Celtic going up against Hearts, and Elena Sadiqa would have known it would be a tough game anyway, but particularly after this tonight, they can't take that easily. No, exactly, and I think that Celtic will watch a lot of this footage, and I think they'll analyse it and make sure that the same thing doesn't happen to them in that fixture. But this again will give Hearts a bit of momentum, and they'll go in with a lot of confidence that if they can do it to Rangers here, they can do it at Celtic Park again. So it looks like another exciting weekend fixture. Absolutely. Well, thank you for your contribution tonight, Emma, and what a night here at Oriam Ach Masala Shing and Shaw 8th BBC Alba, Har Rugby a Chile
chun channel siid eiche húne ag léúd isteúí seach Southern Knights atálna Edinburgh an nuair sin Líga Hún I dáiste sáne Cove Rangers atálna Alloa agus mar bhaising a príomhéanaan hin Celtic atál in Hearts Jadónich ag céad uadan. Well a Hearts iad an ceála chud é fig na fíle seos an SWPL Tapalíse agus aiche bha.